everybody, and welcome to F1 Tonight Netherlands. And we are here for race 4 in Azerbaijan at the Baku City Circuit. And I'm joined in the commentary box, as always, by Adrian. Good evening, Adrian.
Good evening, Eddie. Good to be here.
Indeed. It is going to be a good night, I feel. I feel it in my waters tonight.
You did, unfortunately. Wish you hadn't.
Okay, so first and foremost, let's run through the Drivers' Championship as it stands. And in first place, we have Nicky Visser for Red Bull. So he's up 2 places and now assumes the P1 position in the Drivers' Championship. Second is John Donkel in the Ferrari. He's up 2 as well. And then in third, we've got Boy Williamson, who's up 6. So he takes the 3rd place in the championship. Baz Den Bryant, he's unfortunately dropped down 3 to 4. Then we have Zander Hermans. He's also dropped down 3 to 5. Then we have Dami Hartman. Stays where he was in 6. Hans van der Berg, his teammate, stays in 7. Then in 8, we have Guido Urschen. He's dropped down 3 as well. 9, Marcel Dronig. He's dropped down 2. And Mark Stappers for Ferrari stays in 10. 11, we have Peter Phillips. Marco Pullen is 12. Nishay Mahadwa Singh is 13. Martin Parder-Cooper, 14. 15 is Jamie Collane. 16, we have Remco Hunting. 17, Miguel Tourney. 18, Marcel France. And 19, Paul Quaret. Adrian, we've seen some movement, obviously, from Bahrain on this championship. Obviously, a great win last week for Nicky Visser in that Red Bull, and we can see it reflected here in the championship standings, can't we? The drivers' standings.
Yeah, absolutely. That's 2 wins now for Nicky. We're only 3 races into the championship, and I have to say, there's a lot of blue at the top of that table, isn't there? With the 2 Red Bulls, 1 and 3, at the moment. And also, it's very tight in the sort of second to 9th place. There's only 10 points between those drivers. As I said, it's quite early on, but it's very tight at the moment.
Yeah, definitely, very, very tight indeed. And you can see, but Nicky is already starting to pull away. 20 gap difference to 2nd place John Donkel. So that certainly puts him in good standings. Let's put it like that. Okay, so let's have a look at the Constructors' Championship. And leading the way on the Constructors, surprisingly enough, we've got Red Bull. And great result for them. 80 points. 80 points, so looking very, very good for them at this moment in time. 2nd place, we have the sister team of Toro Rosso on 54 points. So the combination there of Marcel Dronig and Zander Hermans, obviously pushing up into 2nd place. 3rd is McLaren. They're there with 50. 4th is Rocket Williams on 48. 5 is Ferrari on 45. 6, we have Haas. 7, Mercedes. 8, Renault. 9, Alfa Romeo. And bring up the rear is Racing Point with 0 points at this moment in time. We can see those wins there that the Red Bull guys have taken, and indeed the good results from the Toro Rossos. 80 points now for Red Bull, and 26 points between them and Toro Rosso. It's looking good for early on in this season at the moment for Red Bull, isn't it?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, I don't like to say that they're running away with it. We're only 3 races in, as I said, but you can see that they've taken 80 points from a possible 132 after 3 races. So that's not too shabby at all. And Toro Rosso as well. 2nd place, Honda powered teams seem to be leading from the front at the moment.
Yeah, they certainly do. They certainly do, mate. And right now, let's have a look at that track. And Baku City Circuit here on 19th of September. 20 corners, 3 sectors. So circuit length is just over 6 kilometres. Total race length just over 306 kilometres and 51 laps. And sectors, well, first sector takes us up to just before turn 7. Second sector takes us up to just before turn 16. And then the third and final sector obviously takes us to that start-finish line. It is quite a tricky track, isn't it, Adrian? And, you know, first sector, second sector, and then third sector, all very different from one another.
Yeah. I mean, the third sector is kind of is not, sort of non-existent for me. It's just a straight line in essence, because you're 100% throttle for about 90% of that. There's only one turn there in turn 16. But yeah, sector 1, you've got those sort of race around the block, I suppose, those 90 degree corners.
Yeah,
and sector 2, of course, is the infamous castle section.
Indeed.
Expect plenty of crashes around there. It's such a nightmare corner.
Yeah, it certainly is. I totally agree with you on that one. And well, we'll see what happens there. Bear with me 1 second. Trying to. That's it. Okay, so we're just looking there. Sorry, I lost my controller there for a second. Yeah, and I was just going to say, I mean, if we have a quick look at turn 1, because that turn 1, you're coming off that long straight, as you said, top speed, DRS, and let's have a little bit of a closer look at that. And you can see here, as they approach, turning into that corner, you've got to watch your exit onto that right-hand side, haven't you, Adrian, as you coming round that corner?
Oh yeah, yes, it can be a real nightmare, especially if you're on worn tyres, or indeed at the very start of the race. It's it's often a scene of quite big pile-ups occasionally on that bend. But yeah, you just need to watch it. Raised curbs as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And then you've got your first DRS, and the DRS detection point is just before you get into turn 2, with the activation on the exit of turn 2. Bringing you down to turn 3, and as you said, that rectangular sort of 90-degree turn, so that's sector 1. As you come out of sector 1, obviously into sector 2, you got that hard right at turn 7, but then you got that you can see on the map here just a line of numbers 8, 9, 10, 11, and that's the Castle Hill section. So again, let's have a little bit of a closer look at that, and that's what you're looking at. That is turns 8, 9 and 10, and the 11 is just behind that tower. Very tricky, very low speed, and you've really got to watch it through there, haven't you?
Yeah, and what I find with that corner as well is that it does creep up on you. It's not a particularly long corner by any stretch, and it's by that it's very sort of unforgiving as well. You get your line slightly wrong, and you're going to bounce into that right hand wall normally, and then off into the left, and that's it. In the blink of an eye, it's over.
Yeah. Absolutely. And then the second DRS detection point is just before you get into the final turn 20, with the activation on that long straight taking you past the pit entrance and down towards turn 1. And you're going to see some interesting high-speed overtakes certainly on there, I would think, during the course of this race, aren't you?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, by the time you hit that DRS activation point, you're already doing 200 miles an hour, and you'll probably reach something like 215, 216 by the end of that. It's one of the sort of fastest speeds in Formula One. It's also the longest straight in the Formula One calendar this year anyway. Next year it's going to be beaten by Vietnam, I believe.
Yeah, indeed, once that actually comes in. So that's our track, and what we're going to do now is just quickly get ready for the main event, so to speak, and we're going to have a look at that now, and it's going to be, well, it's certainly going to be very interesting, I'm sure. And as I said to you, I've got high expectations this evening for this race. So let's go across to the track now, and the guys are already in that Q1 session. as we can see. We are actually on board at the moment with Boy Williamson. He said a 140.5. Interesting to point out, we've got 14 drivers this evening, so they don't necessarily need to complete. All will go through to the second queue. And just going to have a quick look at what tyres he's actually got fitted there. So most of the guys on soft, a couple of runners, Marcel Dronig went on the mediums, Peter Phillips on the mediums. Just to give you a rundown on guys we haven't got with us this evening. Marcel France and Nishay Mahadwa Singh for Renault, they're not with us. Mark Stappers for Ferrari, Remco Hunting for Mercedes, and Paul Poiret for Haas. So, as I say, we are on board at this moment in time with Boy Williamson, and Boy's done really, really well so far in this championship. I mean, he's moved up 6 points, 6 places to that third place, hasn't he?
Yeah, well, yeah, he finished second in China on 29 points at the moment, only 2 behind John Donkel in the Ferrari. But yeah, fantastic performance from both Red Bull drivers at the moment.
Yeah, couldn't agree more with you on that one. They're certainly looking very good and doing well there at this moment in time. Jamie Collane in the racing point, 143.2 on those softs. Jamie new to F1 Tonight in Season 5. Season 6 is his first full one. He's missed unfortunately some of the races which has affected him, and those that he has been, I think he DNF'd, didn't he, if I remember rightly?
Yes, I believe so, yeah.
So not quite found his feet yet, but not unsurprising, it is something quite different. But I think that we will see good things from Jamie as the season progresses, and certainly once we get into Season 7 as well.
Yeah, I mean, I've had some brilliant races with Jamie Collane in the past. I know him very well from sort of our partner league, Synergy PWR.
Yep.
Of which he was a driver for a long time. I think he's still a driver now. And yeah, he's certainly competent. And I think again his time will naturally come in F1 Tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, we've got to remember that we've got a good field of good drivers here, so it's not unsurprising. You know, it's just one of those things, as in real world F1, not everybody can necessarily win all the time, can they?
No, quite right. But you know, most people will improve, and you know, many do.
Yeah, that is very true indeed. Oh, seem to have switched off the wrong one there. Never mind. Right, okay, so just going to actually have a quick look at Nicky Visser. Nicky Visser obviously leading the championship at this moment in time, and he seems to have got it together this season. We were commenting last season, and I'm sure he won't mind saying, you know, he had a lot of luck, all of it bad in Season 5. Season 6 though seems to be very much going his way so far, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think it's because he's switched from the red cars to the blue ones. He was in the Sauber last season. I think it might have been just the car that was particularly unlucky for him, because as soon as he's got in this Red Bull, yeah, he's absolute top of his form. Really dominant display actually. We saw in Bahrain, finished some 40 seconds or so ahead of the field.
Yeah.
And yet that win, that was a hard-fought win actually in China. So. Yeah, it'd be interesting to see how this one actually goes for the Red Bulls.
I'm inclined to agree, and we've got a lot of expectations, but this is, well, tricky track is an understatement. I think it's just one of those tracks that, you know, well, I suppose all tracks, drivers have their favourites, the ones that they drive better. Obviously, from my limited experience of driving, you know that this is one of my favourites, and you do tend to perform better at your favourite tracks, don't you?
Yeah, that's quite right. With Azerbaijan though, it's a bit more of a lottery than other tracks, just because of that. Not just because of that castle section, but that is a really sort of huge contributing factor to the race winners.
Yeah, absolutely. And Martin Parder Cooper this year is in the Alfa Romeo, was in the Ferrari last year, And Martin obviously sticking in there at this moment in time, and he's doing pretty well for himself, I've got to say. Where am I? He's sitting 14 in the championship at this moment in time, so hasn't quite got the feel of this Alfa Romeo as yet. Oh, we can just see somebody ahead of him there, losing a bit of Toro Rosso wing coming off there. But again, you know, he is a consistent driver, though. You know, you always generally tend to see him finishing the race. He puts in consistent laps, and he does get the points. He does add them up at the end of the season. He's always sitting, you know, round about the mid-high field, isn't he?
Yeah. Martin's a very consistent point scorer. You often find him there, just picking up the last few points. But he does it frequently, and that's key.
Yeah.
You know, you got to keep scoring those points for them to mount up.
Yep, because points mean prizes, as they like to say. Hans van der Berg, Marcel Droney currently in the pits. John Donkel, we're joining now for Ferrari. And again, you know, John had a fantastic, got to say, season 5. And it seems to be getting even better at this moment for season 6, doesn't it? He's second in the championship. Okay, he's, you know, 20 points short of Nicky Visser, but, you know, moved up 2 places from from Bahrain.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you'd said to John that, you know, he'd be second in the championship after 3 races, I think he'd be really sort of pleased with that. But he's another driver who's really sort of found his form in last season especially, and this season started really well for him. I expect him to pick up at least a couple of wins this season.
I would certainly have thought so. So all the drivers in the pits, just about 2 minutes remaining. Obviously what the guys need to bear in mind is that any damage they may incur can cost them. But as I say, all 14 drivers will go through to the Q2 session. Normally, under normal race conditions with 20 drivers, this Q1 session would be used to reduce the 20 drivers to 5. So the 5 slowest drivers would drop out, and the 15 fastest would then go through to the Q2 session. In this instance, obviously the guys using it more to get a feel for the track. Obviously I'm sure all of them have been practicing, but this just gives them an opportunity to get a bit more of a feel for the track in preparation for that Q2 session. With regards to Q2, it's a very important session, isn't it, really, from the driver's point of view. I'd say it's, you know, I wouldn't say the most important, because obviously Q3 is, but it is an important one. Because it's your tyre choice, isn't it?
That's right. It's important in terms of your strategy, because if you do make it into the top 10, you'll have to start the race on that particular set of tyres, not just another set of the same compound, but that particular set that you set your fastest lap on. So yeah, there's a certain element of strategic driving involved in that qualifying session. Obviously, everyone wants to get through. They want to set the fastest times, but they don't want to push the tyres too hard to give them sort of too much of a disadvantage.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the other thing as well is, you know, while these guys are going round, they're actually using up their allocation of tyres as well, aren't they? I mean, you see Nicky Visser there, he's done 5 laps on those soft tyres at this moment in time. And one might say, you know, if you don't need to do it, don't do it. Save the tyres. But in this particular case...
Yeah, that's right. At the end of the day, you know, these tyres are going to be sort of removed from the teams, no matter how many laps they've done. These tyres they use in Q1.
Oh, is it? Oh, sorry. There you go. You live and you learn. So the Q1 tyres don't count towards their race allocation then?
Well, they do, but it's specifically for Q1. You can't use your Q1 tyres in other qualifying sessions.
Ah, okay. Well, there you go. And now I've learnt something, and I'm sure those of you who didn't know have learnt something as well. There you go. Okay, so the drivers there obviously getting ready to go into that Q2 session. Fastest time we've seen is from Boy Williamson, and that was a 1:40.3. Considerably faster than the other guys, but I don't know if they were necessarily pushing that hard. I think this second session will give us a much better indication, won't it?
Yeah, I mean that session is really just a sort of glorified practice, I suppose. Having said that, it's interesting that that Red Bull are the only team to send both of their drivers out, and they are, as we said earlier on, first and third in the championship. So obviously, you know. I don't want to say more determined, but they're perhaps got that little bit more focused perhaps in these qualifying stages.
Yeah, could well be, and they've certainly got a lot to prove. And I'm not too sure who that is actually coming out now. Watch, unfortunately, they're not going away from us; they're coming towards us, and it is actually the Red Bull there. So that is Boy Williamson. So let's go with Boy Williamson now as he starts his outlap.
Nicky leaving the pit as well.
So this is the outlap. This is the important one. And let's have a look at those tyre choices. Now, Williamson and Visser both going out on the mediums, as is Davey Hartman in the Toro Rosso and Zander Hermans in the Rocket Williams. But Marco Pullen as well in the Mercedes. But interesting, both Red Bulls going out on those mediums to start with. So clearly they're going to be looking to aim, if they can, to as long as they get through, obviously, to Q3, to start on those soft tyres. On those medium tyres, I suspect.
Yeah. I mean, we've seen the Red Bulls start on the mediums a couple of times actually so far this season. Nicky did it at Bahrain and again at China. I don't know. It seemed to tend to like the medium compound tyres as the starting tyre.
Nicky Visser just coming into the castle section now. Boy Williamson coming down towards turn 16 as we speak. Coming now, or in now that final sector, and we'll go on board with him for his fast lap.
So Vanderberg's just gone off at turn 3 on his outlap.
Oh dear.
Sorry, turn 2.
But still there, so he hasn't got sufficient damage to. Or he may have to come into the pits, but at least he's okay. Might be looking at nose changes, something like that.
Yeah, he just went up the slip road, I think.
Oh, so no damage then. So Boy Williamson now on his fast lap. This will be the first fast lap to be set, so it gives us the measure of what we're going to be looking at during this Q2 session. Boy setting a 140.320 in Q1, so clearly he's going to be aiming for that. And I've got to say, looking nice and neat at the moment.
Yeah, it does look tidy.
Little bit much. That turn 7, it can be so tricky. Nicely through that castle section. Around turn 12 now. 13, and this really is, you're really building up the power and speed around 13 and 14, aren't you?
Yeah, I mean these drivers are hitting about 3G of lateral force as they go around that turn. Was that turn 15? Fast left-hander.
Round 17 into 18, 19, final turn. 20 coming up, and you'll see that DRS detection, and there you have the activation. So Boy Williamson, first man over the line, sets a 141.487, so a good run from him. Let's have a look at his teammate now, because he's oh no, Nicky's in the pits. Oh, well, Nicky came in the pits, so Jamie Collane is out at this moment in time.
Sorry to interrupt you. I'm having messages coming through on the app that it might be a session restart.
Okay.
A bit of a rarity in F1 tonight, but it does happen.
Yeah, it could be that we've got some sort of glitch maybe at this moment in time. And I say it every broadcast, I think, don't I? Something about code messes. I don't know. I think I do. Can't quite remember, but anyway. let me not be consistent in that and mention them once more.
The issue was Guido Urshan, despite him being in the session, he dropped out. When he rejoined, he was not able to take control of his car again, unfortunately.
Oh, okay. So we could well be looking at a session restart, and that will be a Q2 restart. So we'll see how it goes. Jamie Pillane staying out, putting a lap down of a 142.2. Oh, nice shot there. Well, that's Jamie, finished in style, let's put it like that. Obviously, no preoccupation because we are going to be restarting. So we're going to get that sorted out and see what we can do. It should only take, how long does it take, Adrian?
What's that, sorry?
How long does it take? Yeah.
I'd give us 5 or 6 minutes or so, something like that. 5 or 6
minutes.
You can time me.
And so I will time you. I will time you. In the meantime, though, we're just going to quickly switch over so that we don't disturb things too much. And let's quickly do something here. And I haven't got my translator working. That'll be interesting. So, Adrian, give me a filler, Adrian. Give me a filler. Come on. Think on your toes, man. Give me a filler.
Oh, where are those promos when you need them?
Yeah, that's true. We need to get a few of those sorted out. So, just going to quickly give some instruction here. Then we will get things sorted out. And for those of you who are watching in Holland, which there are a number of you, I apologise. We're going to have a bit of Dutchish going on, so don't blame me. It's not my fault, honest. So we're just going to go quiet for a couple of minutes while we get the session restarted, and we'll be back with you very shortly. You see, we told you we weren't going to be too long, didn't we, Adrian? Well, I did anyway.
That was more like 2 minutes. So yeah.
Yeah, but they haven't started yet, Adrian. They haven't started yet. I just want to point that out to you, by the way, just to let you know, because you're wrong.
Oh right. Well, we're
damn,
loading
they're starting now. God damn it! It's nothing going my way. Seriously, what's going on? What is going on?
Dear.
It's just not right. While we've got a little bit of time, obviously we can mention the F1 Tonight UK. F1 Tonight UK race on a Tuesday evening, and they will be here at the Baku City Circuit this Tuesday coming. And last Tuesday, or a couple of days ago, they were in China. Adrian races with F1 Tonight UK. Adrian, how did it go?
Well, yeah. Speaking of things not going my way,
you having all the luck. Really. You having the luck as well, but all of it bad by any chance, Adrian?
I tell you what. The best thing about it was it is the first race that I have finished, so I'm pleased with that. So it was also the race where I got my first pit stop.
Well, Adrian, all I can say to that is huzzah!
Huzzah, indeed. But yeah, no, it was quite an interesting race. First half of it actually was really sort of intense for me. I had some sort of fierce battles with Daniel Burt, also known as Silver Surfer, of sort of Synergy PWR fame.
Yeah.
But once Sean Gregory passed me on the same tyre, I think we were both racing around on the hards. That was it. I was just focused on sort of tyre management, and what I didn't count on is getting cramp in my left foot at about lap 38.
I was hoping you were going to mention that. Actually, I was hoping that you were going to mention that. Yes, cramp in your left foot. How? What? What happened?
Yeah.
Just explain.
I don't know. Occasionally, it just tensed up, and I had to pause the game for about 6 or 7 laps and sort of walk around like a bit of a numpty.
Well, for those of you that are unfamiliar, and I will mention this because I think it's worthy of mentioning, your driving setup is probably the most akin to an F1 setup, isn't it? So you are pretty much lying down and doing what I like to call the ballet touch on those pedals, aren't you, really? Because you are seriously pointing your toes on that thing.
Yeah, I mean, the tips of my toes are about level with my elbows. So, yeah, it's pretty much horizontal.
Now, that in mind, that is effectively a racing position that you'd have in Formula racing cars, Formula 2, Formula 1, etc., Formula 4, all the rest of them. So it is quite different to most of the other setups where, some guys might be sitting on their settee, other guys might have, say, play seat setups, etc., although yours is play seat. But it is worthy pointing out it's the most akin to the real-world F1. And I guess that gives you an indication of the sort of stresses and strains that the real-world F1 drivers go through as well, doesn't it?
Yeah, a bit of a slight indication. Obviously, you don't suffer the G-forces or the wind batting your helmet around. And
although I believe Tony Foster has somebody that does that for him, he said. Tony Foster is our Ferrari driver for F1 Tonight UK. He was very kind to mention that actually he is assisted by his good wife with regards to the real sort of simulation, so to speak. So she actually rocks his chair and sort of hits it about when he sort of hits stuff and that. I think that's really quite a neat idea, really, isn't it?
It is. Are you sure she's not just trying to get his attention?
Yeah, it might be that. Maybe I should mention that to him. I don't know. So we are back now and running with the Q2 session. Once again, Boy Williamson, first man out on track. So no great shakes on that, as we expected. So just over 14 minutes of this session. Boy undoubtedly will look to put in as fast a lap as he can. Didn't quite match his Q1 time of 140.3. I think he was a 141, I think he was, if I remember rightly, in the previous scrubbed Q.
Stand by, I will find out.
Oh, well, there you go. See, that's why I have Adrian. He's great on the stats. He's... Yeah, I'm just trying to... Oh, God, I can't remember. Who's the F1 guy? Chowdhury.
Chandok, you mean?
Chandok, sorry. I do apologise, Chandok, if ever you watch this stream. Got it wrong there. But, yeah, you're my Chandok, really, aren't you?
Your very own Karoon.
Yeah, your very own Karoon. My personal Karoon.
It was a 141.487.
Ah, you see. I knew it was a 141. I knew it was. Yeah. God, I may be getting on, but my memory's still there, Brian. So, Boy Williamson now getting ready for his fast lap. And once again, we will join him on board as the first man to hopefully set a fast lap. One can never tell with Baku. And it's definitely one of those circuits where if it's going to go wrong, it does tend to go wrong in a major way. There isn't an awful lot of places to run. Obviously, you've got that runoff there in turn 2. You've got a runoff in turn 1. There's a little runoff in turn 3. But that's pretty much it, really, isn't it? From sort of, you know, sort of rescue point of view.
Yeah, that's pretty much where the safety nets kind of end. Is those three slip roads that you mentioned. Yeah, I mean, like with the castle section in particular, you're either the slip road is right ahead of you, so if you've even attempted to make the turn, that's it. You're not going to be able to make use of that slip road.
Yeah, that's true, and you can see that coming up just here now. I mean, as you say, you know, once you've turned, there's no chance that you'll be able to take advantage of that. You pretty much had it, basically.
Yeah, very little room for error.
Well, boy, I've got a sneaking suspicion that looking at time, a little bit of a wobble there. I think it was. You know, out of 13 into 14, it was looking as if this was going to be a fast lap. I was going to say I think he's going to be pushing sort of 140, but I think that's actually taken a few tenths out of him there.
Both Red Bulls are half a second faster than anyone else at the moment in that first sector, and they've both done 35.60s. So 41.1 as well from Boy in the second sector, 41.3 from Nicky, first and second fastest at the moment. Although, oh, there we go, and Boy's just under 41.0.
He has. Nicky coming up now. See what Nicky can do. He does a 140.934 for Nicky Visser. Who's next coming along, Adrian?
That I believe it'll be, I think it's, is it Vanderberg?
Hans van der Berg. Where is he?
Oh, Parder-Cooper's done a 43.4.
43.4 from Martin Parder-Cooper. Marco Pullen does a 41. Hans van der Berg comes across the line, a 42.3. Let's see, Marcel Dronig still in the pits. John Donkel out on track at this moment in time. He's going into the pits as well. There's Damie Hartman.
Yeah, Damie's just come in. He's done an outlap and just decided to abort it at the end. Interesting.
Baz Bryan is going to be the next man, effectively, that's going to be able to do something. We'll see what he can do.
Gershon, 40.0. No purple sectors, but that is a purple lap. Yeah, great showing from Guido. Didn't have a great China, did Urshan. I think he got second at Australia.
Didn't really go his way, did it?
Oh.
Yeah, it didn't really go his way, did it?
No, it didn't. But I mean, it seems to be back on top here at the moment, and it's only Q2.
Well, fantastic run, obviously 140.8. He went, Baz Bryan just taps that wall there as he was coming around the corner, and that was turn 16, wasn't? No, 17. Turn 17 that was.
Yeah.
So it's turn 17, so he's just tapped it, and that was close because of that sort of speed. You don't want to be tapping that barrier, do you? You could quite easily have been thrown to the other side of the track there without any problem whatsoever.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, you're doing 170, 180 miles an hour by that point. But yeah, I mean, I'm sure it won't shake his confidence too much. I mean, he's season 2 champion, Baz Bryan. He's won many races since then as well. I expect him to be up there with Guido. He just needs to get the mechanics, put a new wing on, and get back out there.
Yeah, I mean, certainly a veteran, I think we can say, of F1 tonight, Baz Bryan.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, he's a bit of a strategy master as well, particularly with his ERS management. It's absolutely phenomenal at times.
So we're on board with Miguel Torni at this moment in time, still to set a lap, and we've got a number of tries, interestingly enough. Now, Jamie Collane has decided to go out on the hard compound tyre. Obviously, from this Q2 session, 4 drivers will be dropped. Oh, Miguel Torni going wide out of 16 there. that's really put him off the pace there. He wasn't looking too bad, but that's taken a good probably 5/10 out of his time, I think, there. And you can see that it's knocked him a bit. He's not quite lining up. I don't know if he's got a problem with the setup on there, but seems to be a little bit twitchy. He does set a 1:43.6. So good run there from Miguel.
He didn't want to do that.
Didn't want to do that, definitely not. And he's got some severe damage there, I would suspect. Yeah, look at that front wing left there. And that's what we were talking about at turn 1. After that high-speed straight, it can be tricky. If you don't hit that apex on that left-hand side and watch your drift over to the right, it is tricky.
Yeah, it is, absolutely. I wonder, actually, if he might have been adjusting the fuel mix just once he completed his hot lap. He wants to try and put it down to lean and put the ERS down as well, just to save the tyres. I think in doing that, he may have lost concentration and missed his braking point.
Yeah, easily done.
So many things to think about.
There are so many things to think about, you're right. That's why I always set my ERS to automatic, because I don't want to be thinking about it.
Eddie, John Donkel's on an absolute flyer right now, coming through the castle section. He's half a second faster than Guido in provisional pole at the moment. He's just invalidated though, has he? No, has he? Yes, he has. He has
invalidated. Well, we're on board with Marcel Dronig at this moment in time. He's just about to come over the line, and very respectful. Look at that, 1:40.623. Great run there from Marcel Dronig. I think he's going to be very happy with that. And I was going to say, Marcel's really been doing, great so far this season. One of those drivers that, has improved big time. He was improving last season, season 5, and he's maintained that improvement and really doing well this season.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, it's absolutely phenomenal performance so far this season. But yeah, I mean, we saw him sort of gradually improving towards the end of last season, much like Sander Hermans did the season before.
Yeah.
And now his teammate, Dronig is, he's looking like a potential race winner at the moment here. Interesting to note, actually, as well, his former teammate Guido Oeschen, he set the exact same first sector time, both P1 and P2, same first sector. Wow,
that is going something. Now we are on board with Baz and Brian going out again.
Baz is purple in the first sector. It's 35.0. It's half a second faster than Visser.
So can Baz and Brian in the McLaren pull it out of the bag in this Q2 session?
He's confident through the castle.
Yeah, definitely. He really attacked that, didn't he? Looking good. Round 13 into 14, building up that speed there. And that high braking point downhill, turn 15, beautifully done there. And this is looking rather good, I've got to say.
It's a purple second sector.
Baz and Bray now
by some way.
Yeah, coming round this final sector, final turn now, onto the straight, and this is going to be very, very good. I think we're going to see a 139. Yes, we have 139.415 from Baz and Brian in the McLaren. Puts him into that P1 position for this Q2 session. And Baz is going to be happy with that, isn't he, Adrian?
Yeah, didn't phase him at all, did it? That little tap in 17 a couple of laps ago.
No, definitely not. If anything, it gave him a little bit more to aim for, I would say. So let's have a quick look at our top 10. Baz and Brian in the McLaren is currently P1 in this Q2 session. Marcel Dronig in the Rocket Williams is 2. Guido Oeschen in the second McLaren is 3. Nicky Visser in the Red Bull 4. Boy Williamson 5. Hans van der Berg in the Toro Rosso 6. His teammate Damie Hartman 7. Very close there between the two Toro Rossos. What are we looking at there? 5,000s, is it? 500s?
500s, yeah.
Yeah, 500s.
Just a 20th of a second. Yeah,
wow.
Very much in tune, those two. And the Red Bulls as well, just ahead of them, very close.
Zander Herman's actually just coming to the end of his outlap, and we'll stay with him. But good guy to watch, and again another one. He's really improved, and he's become a bit of a qualifying king at times, hasn't he, Zander?
Yep. Yeah, he's the only driver other than Nicky to have won a race so far this season, winning in Australia. But yeah, his qualifying pace seems to be truly phenomenal. Keep an eye on him for this lap. Jamie Killane actually behind him as well, just starting his hot lap now. I'll keep an eye on him.
And Jamie's decided to go off those hard compound tyres and go onto the medium. Not overly surprised, because I wouldn't say the hard compound tyres on this track. I mean, they are an option on this track, I would say, but not a qualifying option.
Well, I think it's more likely he's changed to make sure that he gets through into Q3, and he's actually got traffic. I think that was Peter Phillips just held him up there actually into turn 3. He'll probably receive a warning for that. That's a real shame.
So that unfortunately has scuppered Jamie Killane's fast lap.
Yeah, that's going to knock him out as well. He's P11 now.
Ah, right, yeah, and he needs to cross that line there. But he can cross that. I mean, as long as he crosses the line before the time is done, he should have enough time.
Yeah, true, but that means he's done an extra lap on those tyres as well, which he won't have wanted to do. So now he's having to race around to the start line so that he can do another lap. Yeah.
Well, that is the way it goes. At least we don't have a repeat of the Monza incident that we had in the real world F1.
Very true. Very true. Zander Herman's about to cross the line now to complete his hot
and
lap.
This is going to be good. I think we could see.
It's decent. It's not
140.4. I thought he was going to make it into the 139s there, but it does put him into, well, I said P2. He's actually P3 because John Donkel has just come through, and he's taken that P2 position. So John Donkel in the Ferrari takes that P2 position with a 139.7. So 3/10 off Baz and Brian's time. So respectable there from John Donkel.
Yeah, it wasn't even his fastest first sector as well. Jamie Killane is actually through, or he's actually just
he has
a 10th place time, despite having that traffic.
Yeah.
So he might just scrape through. If Prada Cooper is not on a good lap, which he's not, yeah, I think Jamie Killane's safe now. He doesn't need to push this lap. That's really, really fortunate for him.
That really worked out. Jamie Killane there, just going past the Ferrari of John Donkel. Coming up to that sector 2 now, middle sector, into that castle section. Let's watch him through there. I always like, it's one of my favourite bits to watch the guys actually going through, is this section. Look at that. I mean, the confidence that you need is phenomenal, really, isn't it? To get, to really push it through there.
Yeah, it's like like the middle sector at Monaco. It feels really, really good if you do get it right. Absolutely horrible if you get it wrong.
Oh, well, if you get it wrong, it's game over, really, isn't it? Let's be fair.
Actually, a really good lap from Jamie at the moment. Despite, not his fastest first sector, but he didn't need to push this lap. He didn't need to set this time and wear those tyres out. He could have been through regardless of what time he's got here. But.
Yeah, indeed. So in the drop zone we have Marco Pullen. He'll be starting P11 in the Mercedes, row 6. Alongside him will be Martin Parda Cooper in the Alfa Romeo. Row 7, P13 will be Peter Phillips in the Haas, and alongside him will be Miguel Tony. So in the second. So unfortunately, that's Alfa Romeo and Haas out of this Q2 session.
Yeah, it's a bit unfortunate. I haven't seen much from Peter Phillips so far this season. I'm sure we will a bit later on. Did towards the end of season 5. When he was driving for Toro Rosso, I just wonder if maybe he just prefers the later tracks.
Yeah, I mean, it could be, again, a lot of that does come into play, but we will see as the season goes on. So Baslin Braham, John Donkel, Sander Hermans, Marcel Droney, Guido Erschen, Nicky Visser, Boy Williamson, Hans van der Berg, Davey Hartman and Jamie Collane all through. These drivers starting on the mediums: Jamie Collane, Davey Hartman, Hans van der Berg, Boy Williamson and Nicky Visser. So the field pretty much split there, softs and mediums for those front 10 runners, isn't it?
Yep. Yeah, very different strategies here. I just wonder how they're going to line up on the grid come the start of the race.
Yeah.
Obviously, they'll all be able to set their times in Q3 on the softs.
Yes, indeed. In Q3, we would expect all the drivers to be on those soft tyres. And obviously, the guys who did drop out, those 4 drivers, they will have a free choice of tyre for the start of the race. Okay, so here we are now. This is F1 Tonight Netherlands. We are here, season 6, race 4 at Baku in Azerbaijan, and the session will be getting underway shortly, and as you can see, all the drivers will be on the soft tyre compound. And this is the one that really counts. And obviously, always important to be in that front row. But this is one of those tracks where it's uber important to be on that front row, isn't it?
Yeah, well, you say that there is still plenty of opportunity to overtake down that back straight. If you've got the ERS as you come out of 16, 17, yeah, you can quite easily make a pass. Not a very spectacular pass, but it's a pass nonetheless. But yeah, quite right. But it's much better being up the front on lap 1 than anywhere else.
Yeah, because, you know, obviously the start-finish line very, very close to that turn 1, as you said, and you're going to have an awful lot of cars trying to scrap through that turn 1 and turn 2 as well. I mean, turn 1, a lot of times you see the drivers get through turn 1, but then they get wrong-footed into turn 2 when they're all bunched up.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, a lot of drivers have in their minds, you know, as long as they do get through turn 1 on lap 1 unscathed, then they can go at it. But that's often not the case, because you do see many a collision at turn 2 or turn 3 as drivers get a little bit complacent after making it through the first corner. But yeah, expect a few spills around there first lap.
Absolutely. We are on board at this moment in time with Davey Hartman. However, that said, close in behind him, we've got Nicky Visser just behind his teammate, Boy Williamson, and Boy Williamson right on the heels of Davey Hartman. So I think I'll stay on board actually with Boy Williamson for his fast lap, because he could possibly be impeded by that Toro Rosso in front of him, couldn't he?
Yep, yeah, he could well do. Yeah, I'm sure they'll manage to sort of organise themselves probably come the start of their actual hot laps. But yeah, that may be a factor.
Well, they are on their hot laps now, and that is going to affect Boy Williamson. Nicky Visser hanging back a little bit more in his outlap, so a little bit further behind.
It may have been intentional for Boy to remain fairly close to Davey, just for the DRS, the slipstream down that long straight, because you can make up, you know, you're talking sort of half a second, 3/4 of a second if you get it just right. You're doing 3 or 4 miles an hour more than you would be normally.
But it's a thin margin though. But it's a thin margin though, isn't it? I mean, it's a thin margin driving in the dirty air of the car in front and driving in the air that has been effectively had a hole punched in it, if you like.
Yeah, that's true.
There is a very fine line between those two.
Yeah, that's true. And normally on most other circuits, yeah, the dirty air would be a problem. But the unique thing with Baku is it has those very fast, straight sections, but then its corners are very tight, so they don't rely so much on the downforce. So you'll feel less of a disadvantage when you are in the dirty air around there, as you would say Hungary, for example.
Well, Davey Hartman crosses the line, and he has set 1:39. Boy Williamson 1:39.8. Nicky Visser a 140.0. So, yeah, I think Boyd did get an advantage, but not enough of an advantage. Azejbaijan is now gone into that P3 position with a 139.9. Guido Urshan has got through, 140.5, just moving over. I think, yeah, he'd already set his lap, moving aside there for the other car ahead of him. Sander Hermans sets a 140.2. So good run there from Sander Hermans.
So really close, isn't it, between the
definitely
between everyone down to P6 really.
It is
7/10.
very close. Very close indeed. I mean, what we're looking at, 1/10 there between Damie Hartman and John Donkel. Couple of tenths to Boy Williamson from John Donkel.
And then
1/10
really.
again, Azejbaijan. Nothing. It is nothing really. Yeah, that's what, 100 thousands.
2/100ths.
Yeah, 2/100ths. Yeah.
And just over a tenth to Visser.
Yeah. So really very close indeed. Jamie Collane is now starting his fast lap. Well, he's already into it. Coming round turn 3 there.
See how he gets on. I'm interested to see his line through the castle section. The yellow flags are waved in Q3.
Q2.
2.
Yeah.
That's
Sector
John
2, yeah.
Donkel just letting drivers pass.
So he will come across John Donkel probably round about turn 15, 16 maybe.
Yeah.
So see how that goes.
A little tiny bit tentative, Jamie, through there, but I think that's a good time.
Yeah, it wasn't the same attack that we saw him taking Q2, was it?
No, not quite. Through
15, yeah, good one. 16, you've got to watch the exit of 16 that you don't go too far over onto that right hand side there. Indeed,
so crucial.
Ferrari moving across there to let him through.
I'm trying to interrupt myself. Wonder if that put him off a little bit. Actually, the sight of that Ferrari.
I think it did. I mean, he knew that he was there, and obviously John Donkel moved across, but yeah, he's come into the pits. Yeah, didn't get the run that he wanted there, and he's just not having the bless him, he's just not having the runs that he wants there, really, is he?
No, I mean, slightly bad luck really on his hot lap there with the traffic. I know John was driving very slowly, letting drivers pass, but the thing is, even just if you have a driver in front of you, just having them there, doesn't matter what they're doing, they could be completely out of the way. Just because they're there, that can have an effect on you, and it can put you off because you're a little bit nervous of passing.
Yeah, that is very true indeed, and especially on such a high speed sector, the fastest sector effectively of the track.
That's right. One tiny error at that kind of speed, and you've completely wrecked the car.
So we're on board now with Hans van der Berg in the Toro Rosso. This driver joined in season 5, and he's doing really well. He's he's in P7. His teammate Damie Hartman, last season 5 winner, champion, is in P6. So evenly matched, the Toro Rosso guys, and a good combination of drivers, I think.
Yeah, well, but both of these drivers, I'd say, are probably two of the most exciting drivers that we have in F1 tonight. As actually Van der Berg's just invalidated his time there.
He has there.
He comes around 6.
Yeah, little bit tricky there in that castle section. So he's going to have to run again. I don't know whether he's going to be coming into the pits on that.
I'd say he probably won't.
Damie Hartman is on an out lap. Let's have a look where Jamie Collane is. So Jamie Collane taking it easy in that first sector. Damie Hartman approaching.
I think what Jamie's trying to do is just make sure that he doesn't have that bad luck again on his hot lap. So he's allowing plenty of space ahead of him to try and sort of guarantee himself a clear track.
Yeah, I think you're right on that one. Damie Hartman now coming round to start his fast lap. Damie Hartman in the Toro Rosso, Season 5 champion. And as I said, Damie sitting in P6 in the championship at this moment in time on 27 points. Bit of a way off, certainly, from Nicky Visser, 24-point difference there. But Damie's, I mean, if I remember rightly, I mean, his start to Season 5 was okay. He's probably where he more or less where he is now. He really came alive towards the middle and the end of Season 5, didn't he?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I mean, I think it will stem from Baku. In fact, his battle with Seb Bogard. I think the gap in the end. I think Bogard won it by the smallest margin in F1 Tonight history, 0.036 seconds. Don't ask me why I remember that.
Because it was 0.036 seconds.
Obviously. But yeah, that was. I think that was the start of his sort of championship drive. Really confident actually through the castle just there, just watching him.
Definitely.
I think this is going to be an improvement.
I would say it's definitely going to be an improvement. I mean, he is fastest man on track at this moment in time with a 1:39.556.
Boy's just gone fastest in the middle sector. He's some half a second faster than Damie. Although Damie's just gone a tenth faster than that. So yeah, I think they're going to be 1-2 Boy and Damie. I don't know which order.
Well, it is that time that we call the order. So who are you going for that P1 position?
Baz Brian. Baz
Brian. I'm going to go with. I was going to go with Damie actually, and I think I still will. I mean, 1:39.0. There's not much in it. So Damie Hartman sets a 1:39.1, but Boy Williamson. Just a little bit faster, isn't he? 1:31.051. There's not really that much in it. Just over 100th of a second.
He was behind him actually until he got onto the back straight, the start and finish straight. Just managed to regain the time there. He's 2 tenths behind him as they got onto that straight, and then a tenth faster than him by the line. Baz Brian just gone P3. He won't be doing another lap. He went into the wall at turn 1.
Oh, so Baz Brian will look as if he's starting in that second row, P3 position. And John Donkel, at this moment in time, looks like he's going to be sitting alongside him. Nicky Visser is at the moment sitting in that third row, P5.
Yeah, and that's where he will stay. He's done apparently done a 58-second first sector. I can't imagine that being right.
No, I can't either, but there you go. Hans van der Berg, 6. I don't think he's going to better that time. Oh, I don't know, though. No.
Van der Berg in P6?
I don't,
no,
yeah,
100% not.
No, definitely not. Jamie Culhane is coming round now, and he is on a fast lap, coming around 13 into 14 now. Just want to see what he hits that turn 16 at. And this is looking good.
He's in mode 0.
He's in mode 0.
So I think he's made a mistake earlier on.
So, and Zander Herman's in the pits. Guido Urshan is out at this moment in time. He's not going to be bettering that time. And Marcel Dronig as well is unlikely to better that time. Just having a look here.
Yeah, no, he's coming in. I think it's a case of what we see is what we get
got.
At the moment.
I think it is. So Boy Williamson for Red Bull will be in that P1 position. Damie Hartman in the Toro Rosso will be alongside him. We were saying Damie Hartman came alive in Baku Season 5. Looks like he could be doing the same here. And didn't quite call that right. Baz Brian in the McLaren will be starting row 2, P3. Alongside him will be John Donkel in the Ferrari. Row 3, P5, Nicky Visser. Sure, he's going to be disappointed with that. And alongside him will be the sister team car of Hans van der Berg, the Toro Rosso. Row 4 will be Jamie Culhane. He's in P7. Alongside him will be Zander Hermans. And I think that's going to be interesting in that Rocket Williams. And then row 5, Guido Urshan in the McLaren. And alongside him, his Season 5 teammate, Marcel Dronig. So that should be interesting as well. I've got to say, it's an interesting lineup for the start of this race.
Yeah, you've got some fierce rivalries between many of the sort of adjacent drivers in that grid. So yeah, be interesting to watch. I think the Red Bulls, both Red Bull drivers, are just a smidge ahead of each Toro Rosso as well.
And the gaps as well. I mean, that front row, nothing in it. Second row, nothing in it. Third row, pretty much nothing in it as well. So comparatively, you know, the guys alongside each other, rows 1, 2 and 3, very, very close indeed on their qualifying times, aren't they?
Yeah. I mean, it's 8 tenths between the top 7. Speaking of the top 7, good performance from Jamie Collane there, P7. I believe that's his highest qualifying to date.
Wow. And while I've got a bit of time, just want to give a quick shout out to Tom Stevens. He's taking part in the F1 Esports Pro Draft at Singapore on the Xbox. So wishing him the best of luck. I believe they got started around about 8 o'clock. Not too sure if their race has started. That is being streamed live on Twitch TV. If you're watching us, I think actually Tom said no. Watch the F1 tonight. But you know, no worries. We are on YouTube. But equally, obviously, the championship on Twitch or the Pro Draft on Twitch will be on there as well. And we're wishing Tom Stevens all the best. He's one of our top drivers in F1 Tonight UK, and we're wishing him all the best, sending him all the best for that Singapore Pro Draft race. Yeah,
absolutely. Welcome there, Tom.
Well, let's hope so. I want to see the good news on the WhatsApp group when we conclude the race this evening here at Baku.
Absolutely. Can't wait for that.
So the drivers are getting underway for their processional lap. And what we're going to do is quickly go through the drivers. So Boy Williamson is going to be starting in that P1 position. Alongside him will be Damie Hartman in the Toro Rosso. Then behind them, row 2, Baz de Bruyn is going to be in P3. Alongside him will be John Donkel in the Ferrari. Row 3, we have Nicky Visser in the Red Bull. Alongside him will be the sister Toro Rosso of Hans van der Berg. Then we have Jamie Collane in the Racing Point in P7. Alongside him will be Zander Hermans in the Rocket Williams. Then we have row 5, P9, Guido Urshan in the McLaren. And alongside him will be his former teammate Marcel Dronig in the race, in the Rocket Williams. Then we have P11, Marco Pullen in the Mercedes. Alongside him will be Martin Parder Cooper in the Alfa Romeo. And then in the final, row 7, we have Peter Phillips in the Haas. And alongside him will be Miguel Tordi in the Alfa Romeo. So those are our runners and riders as they are. I'm just going to get ready now for the start of this race. As the drivers come round the third sector now, and you can see Boy trying to get some heat into those tyres. Likewise, all the drivers behind, and this is really important now. And let's not forget, we've got a number of drivers that are going to be starting on those medium tyres. So both front runners in medium tyre. Row 1, medium. Row 2, soft. Row 3, medium. So this is going to be very interesting indeed. Keep an eye on those soft runners in that second row, Baz de Bruyn and John Donkel, because everyone else around them is going to be on the medium compound tyre. They are on the soft compound tyre, which theoretically gives them an advantage, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does, yeah, especially in the sort of early stages. But yeah, let's see how they get on.
So, all the guys coming round now. Preparation, getting lined up. It's getting a bit tense, this. Getting a bit tense.
I'm getting nervous. I'm not even racing.
Yeah, I know. I've got the jitters here as well.
that turn 1, 2, 3. That's what it is.
Yeah. So we'll see if we can keep up with the movement of these guys as they come through. Last car coming in to its box there. So we are ready. The lights are on. And we are off for the start of this F1 Tonight Baku Grand Prix. A horrible start there. Look at that. John Donkel's gone straight into the wall there. My goodness me, what's happened there? Baz then Brand. Oh, and a collision there in the background with Marco Pullen and one of the Rocket Williams looks like Marcel Dronig. Boy Williamson pulls away. Damie Hartman is in second, but he's really fighting it through. Look at this. He's going to pull across. Yes, he's in front. And you can see Baz and Brand in the background watching these guys as they come down to turn 3. Damie Hartman leads away. Boy Williamson close in behind him. Boy Williamson goes off. Boy Williamson goes into the right, straight ahead. Hans van der Berg drops now down into 3rd place and he missed it, but at least he went into the runoff there and didn't go into the barrier. Nicky Visser has moved up to P4. Jamie Collane is up to P5. Guido Urshan is up to P6. Marcel Dronig 7. Peter Phillips 8. Marco Pullen 9. Zander Hermans 10. Martin Parler Cooper 11. Boy Williamson has dropped down to 12. Miguel Torney 13. And John Donkel is out. John Donkel has gone out.
Yeah, John Donkel crashed out turn 1. I think he sort of intentionally retired the car. Just went into the wall on the starting grid. Don't know what happened. He must have lit up the rear wheels.
Yeah, he just went straight into the wall. Didn't look like there was any contact with anyone behind him.
No, I was looking forward to a good race between Boy Williamson and Damie Hartman. I thought Damie would be taking it to Boy. But yeah, I didn't really expect Boy to make such there's another huge error. Made a big one at Bahrain. Redeemed himself in China, and now another mistake here.
Boy Williamson is the man who can charge from the back, so it's going to be a question of when he comes in to that pit, what tyre is he going to go onto? And I have a sneaking suspicion that he's going to go onto a hard compound tyre, you know.
He could do, or he might stick to his strategy. He hasn't got any damage to that car. He's actually going to make the pass on Parder Cooper quite easily. Down the back straight there, Parder Cooper not defending at all. A few drivers into the pit, Pullen, Sander Hermans.
Yeah, and the lead guys staying out. The top 5, certainly 6. Guido Urshan staying out as well. Marcel Jones. So top 7 are staying out. Zander Hermans, Marco Pullen into the pits. Okay, so this really has mixed it up somewhat. And let's have a quick look here.
De Bruyne is really putting pressure on Damie. Last season, Damie was battling with De Bruyne's teammate at the time, Bogard.
Yeah.
And now this race, it looks like it's going to be Baz.
Well, I've got to say, Baz is certainly pushing him, and he is really harassing him. I mean, Damie's totally aware that he's got that McLaren right breathing in, gulping in those exhaust fumes that are coming off his Red Bull, and yeah, he needs to do something about it, doesn't he? He needs to do it pretty sharpish. He needs to try and pull away from that McLaren as much as he possibly can. He's got an opportunity with the straight coming up. Obviously, no DRS yet. DRS will only be activated on lap 3. So once they come across the line, DRS will be activated when they come out of turn 2. So watch that. Baz den Bruijn needs to stay as close as he possibly can, doesn't he?
Well, he does. Ideally, you want to get past him. Bearing in mind he's on the soft tyre and Damie's on the medium.
Yeah.
So he has the advantage, about 6/10 of an advantage on these tyres, and he's 6/10 behind.
In the meantime, Boy Williamson has already moved up to P9.
Urshan's pitting in. I don't know. I think there must be damage to the McLaren.
Yeah, Urshan has pitted. Now, this is the Brain's chance. He's got DRS. Can he do anything down to turn 3? It is a tricky DRS because you've really got to be a couple of tenths, 3/10 off the back of the car in front of you to take full advantage of it before you have to turn into that turn 3, don't you?
Yeah, that's right. That's right. I mean, I think it could be a little bit more than that, just because of the longer straight. But yeah, 3/10 to be comfortable. This is all over the back of Vanderberg as well, battle for P3, both on the same tyres here.
So Nicky Visser is indeed on the back here now. Hans van der Berg.
So Hans actually got past Visser on the.
He did.
Must have been on the starting grid then.
Yeah, it
into
was.
one.
Yeah. So these guys, 3, 4, and 5, all on the medium tyres. And Damie Hartman still fending off Baz den Bruijn at this moment in time. And den Bruijn's actually lost a little bit of time there, so maybe Hartman's starting to pull away, but he will have DRS. Protection is just before they get round turn 20.
Yeah, Hartman's being much more aggressive on his ERS to try and keep the gap than Baz is.
Oh.
Hartman's actually run out down this straight, so we might see a rapid gain of time.
He's 4 tenths behind him now. Oh,
Bit deep there into
bit
one.
deep into one there from den Bruijn. Not what he was looking at. It's given Hartman a little bit of breathing space there. Hans van der Berg at this moment in time is just under 2 seconds off the back of den Bruijn, but Nicky Visser still 5 tenths off the back of him, and he's got the DRS out of 2 coming down now towards turn 3. But it's difficult. You can't. It's, you know, you've got to get your nose well ahead, at least half a car before you get down to turn 3, really, if you're going to make a move.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, you've got to be in such a position as to not endanger really the car that you are trying to overtake. But,
I think van der Berg made a bit of contact with the barrier there on the exit of 6. Not too sure.
Miguel Torni's retired, by the way. He's running in 13th of 13. He's I think he hit a wall. I saw yellow flags come out shortly before his retirement.
And that was probably, I suspect, around sector 3.
Jamie Killane's having a good race so far. I don't want to jinx him too much, but yeah, running P5 at the moment. He kept himself out of trouble, and there was plenty of it going around.
And another retirement, Guido Urshan, has also retired, and that's sector 2.
Is that in the castle? I think that was through the castle.
No, it's not. It's before the castle, before coming down to turn 7. Looks like on the exit of turn 6. You see his car on the side there, so I think he wrong-footed it out of 6 and probably hit the wall and took out his wheel. Suspect probably, just trying to think, probably front left, yeah.
So, a bit of a mistake from de Bruijn.
Oh, and den Bruijn has got ahead of Damie Hartman.
Yeah.
So he has got ahead of him.
He got ahead and then sort of almost lost the back end just out of I think that was out of turn 2. But yeah, managed to hold on to it.
Well, let's go for an on-board here with Damie Hartman. Den Bruijn has got past him. I guess you could say a foregone conclusion as he was running on the soft, and Damie Hartman wrong footing there through 5 and 6. He's lost time. Needs to compose himself, get back concentrating. Good turn 7 there. Now he needs to really attack this McLaren.
I think what he's doing at the moment is actually saving up his ERS. I think
We've got yellow flag in sector 1.
I think he recognises that he's on a different strategy to Baz. I think he knows that it won't benefit him to sort of waste the energy of the tyres trying to sort of stay ahead of a car that's on softer tyres. So I think he might be just managing himself, sort of mature enough to recognise that and not engage in an unnecessary fight. Yeah,
there is that to be said, but equally, okay, he's on a different strategy, as we know. He's on the mediums.
He's going to pass him.
I think he's going to pass him, yeah. But he needs to get that buffer, and he does get past him. So, gets past him down into turn 1. Now the question is what can den Bruijn do?
This is actually really going to disadvantage. This fight will really disadvantage Baz more than it will Damie, with Baz on the softer tyres. And I know I said the dirty air effect is not so great on this track. If you have got that car in front of you, you will be relying more on your mechanical grip. which is going to wear out the tyres.
Oh, yeah.
Nearly goes into the
Nearly, very, very nearly. And that's what we're talking about. It's that loss of downforce, isn't it? And it is critical in those corners, let's be fair.
Yeah, well, and the braking zone as well, because the aerodynamics is, it does affect your stopping distances as well at those speeds, or from those speeds.
So Paz Dembrain at the moment, he did get ahead of Damie Hartman, but Damie Hartman made short work of that, got ahead of him again, and
he's gone into the wall.
And he's made contact, front wing damage, looks like front wing plates there. So Dembrain has now got damage, and the question is, can he? Well, he can't really, not on this track. You're going to have to come in, aren't you? There's any damage on that front wing, and that's it, really.
Yeah, especially through the last few corners in Sector 3, you can lose so much time. I mean, you're talking sort of 5, 6, 7 seconds just from a yellow front wing in that section. So yeah, I think he'll be in. I think he'll be on the hard tyres to try and eke them out to the end.
I think he will, and I'm surprised Boyd didn't go onto those hard tyres, didn't come into the pits. Hans van der Berg now, look at this, and you can see the effect of that front wing as Hans van der Berg just cruises past Dembrain and goes up in second place. So that means that we've got Toro Rosso first and second at this moment in time.
Yeah, phenomenal start for these boys. But yeah, I don't really know what happened to the Red Bulls. And yeah, it's really uncharacteristic mistake from Baz, despite it being out at the castle, which often catches the experienced drivers out.
Well, you were wondering where the Red Bulls are, and I'll tell you where Nicky Visser is. He's bearing down on Hans van der Berg in the Toro Rosso at this moment in time. And I think, well, he seems to be really eating into them now. I think he's going to be looking to make a move on him on the closing stages of this lap 7.
Yeah, I think this battle is going to be ongoing for a while. We have both of them currently on the same strategy. Baz has actually gone onto the medium tyre. I expected him to go onto the hard. Perhaps he just doesn't like the hard on this track.
Well, I guess the problem with the hard on this track is it's probably going to take a bit of time for it to actually get warmed up, and you could lose an awful lot of time in that process.
Yeah. I think Baz is actually on his plan A strategy. He started on the soft tyre, he's gone onto these mediums. It just means he's going to have to perhaps go a few more laps than he would have liked on these mediums. I don't think it's that much of
no, I suspect he probably would have. I would suspect that he was probably planned to go to around about lap 9 on those.
Yeah.
So, okay, he's got a 2-lap difference, but he should be able to eke that out of those medium tyres. So I don't think he's gone too far off his strategy, as you quite rightly say there. Nicky Visser is he's within the DRS, so he will close down to Hans van der Berg, but not too sure how much he will close down. It's got it down to 6/10 there.
I guess a good exit out of 2. He might be able to get him into 3.
Possibility there. They're coming into 2 now. He's 7/10 off. I don't think, no, he's not going to be able to do it. It's just too big a gap, even with that DRS. It's not going to allow him to get his nose in front. Yeah,
and he's not trying either, because he's mode 2 down that straight.
Yeah, so he's just taking it nice and easy at this moment in time. But Jamie Collane, before we had that little bit of interesting, we were talking about Jamie Collane, and well, he's going to be a happy bunny in that P4 position at this moment in time.
Yeah, that's right. Just he's got to try and keep his feet on the ground and his tyres on the track, and just try and maintain this level of composure that he's shown so far for these first 8 laps, first 7 laps, and just try and keep that going to the end of the race. Only about another hour and 10 minutes or so to go.
Is that all? It will soon go by. Okay, so we are on lap 8 of 51. This is F1 Tonight Netherlands, the premier Xbox One sim racing F1 league, I could say. Well, F1 Tonight certainly are at this moment in time. We do have the UK league as well as the Netherlands. UK started this year, season 1, and they will have race 4 here at Baku on this coming Tuesday. But in the meantime, we are on board with Jamie Collane in that Racing Point. And as we say, he's going to be happy bunny. Best position I think he's had so far this season, isn't it, for Jamie Calais?
Yep. He's not been in a higher spot than he is right now. Let's hope he stays there to the end of the race. So yeah, I would like to see him up there. Indeed.
Marcel Dronig in the Williams. Well, he's done pretty well for himself out of this as well. He's currently in that P5 position. He's just under 3 seconds off the back of Jamie Calais, but doesn't seem to be closing down too much on him. But this is the man that is going to be interesting. We said, obviously, Boy Williamson, not a great start to his race. But he dropped right down to the back of the field. He's now moved up to P6, and he's closing down on that Rocket Williams ahead of him.
He is. Yeah, he never really seems to have a great first lap, Boy. But he does win races.
Oh yeah.
So it's I think he just, like we said before, he'd just like to make it interesting from himself. Take pole position, then let everyone pass as he goes up the slip road.
Yeah.
But I normally do that if I'm racing on 30 AI or something. I wouldn't do that in an F1 Tonight race, but I hope.
Yeah, indeed, and he is definitely closing that gap to that Rocket Williams ahead of him, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. Yeah, I think that's partially due to. I was watching Dronig on the previous lap. Actually, he almost lost the back end on this corner. Sorry, on the previous corner there, turn 18, I think it was, right-hander. And just sort of, it was a little bit out of shape. Managed to hold on to it. Probably wiped a bead of sweat off his forehead and carried on. But I think he lost about half a second there.
Yeah, he's definitely closing down to him. Peter Phillips in the Haas. I think he's going to be quite pleased with himself. He's in that P7 position at this moment in time. He's 8 seconds off the back of Boy Williamson. Then P8, we have Martin Parder-Cooper in the remaining Alfa Romeo. His teammate Miguel Torn already gone out, but look at this. That's Baz de Breen going past him. So Baz de Breen gets past Martin Parder-Cooper, moves up into that P8, drops Parder-Cooper down to P9. Then we have Marco Pullen in the Soul Mercedes this evening. He's in P10, so he's in the points at this moment in time. And
Viss has gone past Damie. Sorry, Viss has gone past Damie in the just before the castle.
Wow, that was quick.
That was, and Viss is now fighting with Hans.
That was quick. That was very quick. I mean, I'm surprised. But Damie's got. Yeah, Damie spun. He's dropped right down now. And did he make some sort of contact with the wall there that allowed Visser to get past? Because now Visser is really bearing down on Hans van der Berg. I think there must have been some error made there, or some sort of contact with one of the barriers.
Fair play to Damie. He's waiting until the track is completely clear before he does rejoin. Doesn't want to be penalised for an unsafe rejoin. Yeah, he waited there till...
Nicky Visser is making the move on Hans van der Berg into turn 1. They're side by side. And he had to brunt out there. He had to drop in behind that Toro Rosso. But Nicky Visser is going to be challenging again now out of this turn 2. Don't think he's got the gap that he needs to actually make the move on van der Berg before they get to 3. No, yeah, not quite. Not quite there, is it? But he has, and again, Visser seems to have, come. Well, he was coming through anyway, but he's really come alive now, hasn't he?
Yeah, I mean, drivers normally crank up the ERS. He must have cranked up everything up to 11 because I don't know where this sudden surge of pace had come from.
Yeah, because he was a couple of seconds off the back of Damie Hartman, so I wasn't too preoccupied with quickly running through the field, and then all of a sudden he was past Hartman and bearing down on van der Berg.
Yeah, that's going to, I wouldn't say worry van der Berg, but it's going to certainly concern him slightly that he's got an angry Red Bull right behind him.
Yeah, I've got to say though, Hans van der Berg has shown some great racecraft, certainly in season 5. Hasn't quite been there so far this season, but I think this is a track that suits him, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. And it, last season we saw him sort of push so hard for so long. So all the time, to me it looked like he was sort of doing every race as though it was just a series of 5 lappers.
Yeah.
But I think Visser's actually going to pass him down now unless Van der Berg's got the ERS to defend.
Yellow flag. Oh, yellow flag. Sector 3. I don't know who that was.
That was Damie. That was Damie coming into the pit, driving very slowly.
Van der Berg still manages to stay ahead of Visser, but Visser's trying to get alongside him in 2. Now this is the opportunity for Visser. He needs to get that pedal down to the middle. He's 2/10 off the back of that Toro Rosso. He needs to get his nose in front of him before they get down to turn 3. Oh, this is going to be very close indeed, and he backs off.
Out.
Yeah, he backs off there. Discretion being the better part of valour, I think, in that instance.
Yeah, showing experience there as well. Visser, he's a seasoned veteran.
Yeah, absolutely, and this is really close between these 2 guys here. Nicky Visser really laying down the pressure, but Hans van der Berg, got to say, he's a man that can deal with the pressure, I think.
Yeah. I mean, he knows how to apply pressure. We don't often sort of get to see him under pressure himself, but this is going to be a real sort of test of his racing character.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're on lap 12 of 51. They're starting to reel off far quicker now. And this is definitely a great race at this moment in time between these 2 guys. We've seen quite a change from the start of the race, but not unexpected, obviously, here for this Baku track. And Visser is going to get another shot on the DRS now, and I think, pretty sure, he should be able to make the move into that turn 1. Van der Berg going defensive there. Visser doesn't quite close him down, but is he going to look? Is he looking to get that line and that exit? He's looking for that turn 2 DRS, I think. Adrian.
Possibly. I think he might be playing the longer game slightly. Nicky. He's been in mode 0. Well, nearly lost the back there out of 2. But he's in mode 0. He's not looking for the pass
just yet. Just yet.
He's going to reach sort of 95% ERS, then getting down the start and finish straight.
Well, that's going to be interesting because Van der Berg is definitely pushing it, and he's depleting that ERS, isn't he, to stay ahead of that Red Bull?
Yeah, he is. Yeah, and I think that's going to be his downfall.
Sander Hermans has left the session, so connectivity issues there for the Rocket Williams driver. Let's see what happens there. And Peter Phillips as well.
Peter Phillips he's just come out of the pit on the medium tyres. Started on the soft, now on the medium.
So he's come out onto the medium. So Hans van der Berg leads this Baku race. Nicky Visser is in 2nd. Jamie Collane in the Racing Point is in P3.
Go on, Jamie.
Oh, it's Jamie's birthday. So pink is king. The Panther walks. And here he is in that P3 position. Early doors yet. Lap 13 of 51, but potential podium here for Jamie Collane in that Racing Point, and I think that'll be a great boost for him if he maintains that. Boy Williamson, though, in P4 at this moment in time in that Red Bull. He's starting to try and bear down on that Racing Point that is ahead of him. Then we have Baz Den Brian in the McLaren. He's currently in P5. He's 11 seconds. He's lost a lot of time, hasn't he, with that nose change, etc.
Yeah, he has. I don't think it's anywhere near as much time as he could have lost.
Yeah,
But I mean, we thought it would be Damie versus Baz, sort of for the battling for the lead. But instead, it's Van der Berg and Visser. Oh, I think that might change again.
It might well do. Damie, in the meantime, he's in P11 and actually just set the fastest lap on those soft tyres. So that's an interesting one to see there. Marcel Dronig in the Rocket Williams. He's in P6. Marco Pullen, in the meantime, in that Mercedes, has moved up to P7. Peter Phillips in the Haas is up to P8. P9, Martin Parder Cooper in that Alpha. Oh, and he just goes into the wall. Round 1, Parder Cooper loses it, goes into the wall there with a pretty disinterested bunch of spectators, actually, got to say. You'd think they'd be crowding around the car there, wouldn't they?
I think that's something that Codemasters are working on for F1 2024.
So, Parder Cooper in the Alfa Romeo loses it round turn 1, goes into the wall, and he is out. So, dearie me, Zander Hermans on track at this moment in time. Now, he's got to be careful. See, well, hopefully that car should have been cleared by the time he gets round there. But, yeah, no yellow flag at this moment in time. So, Zander Hermans is now in the points.
Yep, it's not anywhere near as many points as I think.
He's a little bit slip-slidey there. No, let's Hans van der Berg. That's is being lapped there by Hans van der Berg and Nicky Visser. So that's Zander Hermans. And Davey Hartman, well, he's coming round now, and so promising, the start of this race for Damey. And it all went horribly wrong, didn't it?
Yeah, it did, yeah. It's don't often see things like that really happen to Damey. So I'm just watching Jamie Klang overtake the AI-controlled car of Zander Hermans. But yeah, what a race it's been for Damey. It's not one that he'll remember fondly. Not like last season.
No, definitely not. And hopefully Zander will be able to get back in soon in control of that car, because he's going to be probably within about 2 or 3 laps. He's going to be, if not well, certainly with 2 laps maybe. He's going to have Damey Hartman overtaking his AI control car, so he needs to try and see if he can re-establish that connection. Yeah, we'll see what happens with regards to that. But Hans van der Berg still leading the way on 14 laps now. This is the question here. Obviously, Visser close in behind him. He's maintaining that gap. He's staying within that DRS. They're both on the medium tyres.
I think he's going to pass him. I think he's going to pass him here.
He's got it ready. He's got it ready now. Nicky Visser in preparation now. Yeah. Makes nothing, and van der Berg just slots in behind him there. So again, good bit of maturity there from van der Berg. No point in challenging that. You're in a good position, staying close behind him. And this is the thing now, because they are both on the same compound tyre. My question is going to be here, I think they're going to stay pretty close. Who's going to go for the undercut?
Yeah, that's a good question. I'd imagine that Hans's tyres are probably in a worse condition than Nicky's. Purely for the fact that Hans was battling his way to the front. You could say the same for Nicky, to be fair, because he, as I said, he sort of cranked everything up to 11 earlier on, didn't he? I wonder how much wear that's sort of put through his tyres, actually. Now I think about it. Could be Nicky in first, to be honest. Exact opposite of what I said 2 seconds ago. Yeah,
I was about to say, it's a bit of a flip of the coin. I've got to say, I suspect that van der Berg is going to go for the undercut, actually. I think Nicky's going to, knowing Nicky and seeing him race, obviously, a few times now, I've got the sneaky suspicion he's going to try and stretch out as much as he can on those medium tyres. And at the moment, van der Berg, in that position that he's behind, he is losing time progressively. I think he's going to go for the undercut. I think van der Berg is going to go for the undercut.
Yeah, I think that would make sense. You're normally better off going for the undercut from the position behind rather than in front.
Yeah, absolutely. And for those of you that are listening and are sitting there scratching your heads going, I don't know, I don't get this, what the hell's an undercut? Well, basically, obviously, when the drivers come up into their pit windows, they have to pit. There's a certain time there. And the undercut is where you come in before the guy ahead of you. And the idea being that you come in, get out, and set as quick a lap as you can, whilst the other guy comes into the pits. So, in theory, you can actually jump ahead of the guy that's ahead of you after he comes into the pits. That is an undercut.
Yeah. You're basically trying to use the advantage that you get from being on fresh tyres. You're trying to hope that is more of an advantage than the disadvantage from the guy ahead of you using old tyres for a bit too long.
Yeah, basically. And then you've also got the overcut, haven't you, Adrian?
You have, yes. Yeah,
and that's the reverse, effectively.
Where you do the exact opposite, yeah. So you deliberately stay out longer than the guy ahead of you. Set your fast laps, really completely burn out the tyres. For the sake of lap times, and then pit, and then hopefully you'll come out ahead because you've pushed harder than the other guy did at the end of his stint.
Indeed, and that is what we are referring to when we talk about undercut or an overcut. So for those of you that are watching weren't aware, we promise we won't charge you too much. I don't know, what do you reckon? 50p each for that one? 50, 100 odd viewers, 50p each. That's 50 quid. Well, I think that's respectable. And Vanderberg does come in. Yeah, Vanderberg is in. So
Jamie
Vanderberg is in. Jamie Collane is in as well. So this is interesting. Boy Williamson stays out on track. He will now move up to P2. Albeit temporarily.
And good recovery from Boy.
14 seconds. 14 seconds off the back of Nicky Visser.
Boy was P12 at the end of lap 1.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, fantastic. I mean, but again, it's almost what we've come to expect of Boy. As you say, he's got that ability to charge through the field. And he's demonstrated it again here at Baku. Okay, he's got a couple of guys that are coming into the pits ahead of him. But that said, still a great run for him.
Yeah. Not a great stop from Jamie Collane, by the way. He seems to have lost the position. There's now Baz de Breen in the McLaren between himself and Van der Berg.
Yes, Den Brain has come out, but obviously Den Brain is on those 11-lap-old medium tyres. So that's the situation there. Jamie Collane just coming into the castle section now, and he has lost a lot of time, hasn't he? He's lost nearly 5 seconds. Did he have a stop-go?
I wonder if he had a stop-go.
Yeah, I think he must have done, because that's a 5-second gap you're looking at there.
There's not even a warning on his report there.
Okay, so bit of an odd one there. Nose change?
Could have been. Yeah, could have been.
Could have been a nose change. So Hans van der Berg is now in that P3 place. He's gone to a fresh set of medium tyres, as has Jamie Collane. So I think it's pretty safe to say for those guys on the medium runs, they're looking at medium soft, aren't they?
Yeah, that seems to be the standard around here.
And Nicky Visser is into the pits. Now this is important. Hans van der Berg coming round now. Nicky Visser is in the pits, and he comes out ahead of him. Whoa, Boy Williamson.
Yeah,
no, sorry, no, Nicky Visser. Boy Williamson's ahead, but Nicky Visser comes out ahead of Hans van der Berg and maintains that gap right about the 2 seconds. Now that was good. I mean, that means that Visser was obviously far quicker on his in-lap than Hans van der Berg was on his out-lap, and there you go.
Yeah, that's the benefit of the. I suppose that was the overcut, wasn't it? Or it was more Hans van der Berg's failed undercut. I suppose.
Yeah, I think it's more of a failed undercut there from Hans van der Berg. He went for the move and just timed it wrong. But I'm wondering if Visser responded to Van der Berg coming in, and I suspect that he didn't. I think that was actually a planned pit for Visser there. I don't know what your thoughts are on that, Adrian.
Yeah, it could have been a combination of the two. To be perfectly honest, Visser would have noticed that Hans come in. It may have been within his window. He may have planned to come in maybe a lap or two later. So I think he's decided to try and negate the advantage that Hans would gain from the fresh tyres. He decided to come in himself.
But that said, Van der Berg is starting to close down that gap to Visser. He's taken a couple of tenths out of him, actually. Okay, it's the opening lap for Visser, but Van der Berg seems to be... oh no, it's back up again. So yeah, the time that he gained, he's lost through that third sector. So clearly, Visser's tyres have come alive.
Boyd's in the pit now as well. He'll probably go on to the mediums, I'd imagine.
Yes, he is. So Boy Williamson is indeed going on to the mediums. And we're seeing the pit stops come in now. Now, Marco Pullen's still out on those medium tyres. I would suspect that he's going to be coming in now. He's currently sitting in that P7 position. Doesn't look like he's getting ready to come in, though. No, he's staying out. So he's going out for another lap. So Pullen going out for another lap. Phillips behind him. He's on 6-lap old medium, so he's okay. Damie Hartman is on 8-lap old softs, and yeah, this hasn't worked out for him, that soft run so far, has it?
Well, he's setting decent lap times, but he's about a minute behind the car ahead of him due to his spin and then sort of awkward wait, I suppose, while the drivers are going past. He obviously didn't want to get a penalty. He did the right thing and stood where he was, but literally, nice guys finished last, unfortunately.
Yeah, I've got to say, I mean, he's already done, what, 2 stints on the soft tyres. He'll probably be able to take this, I would suspect, around about sort of 12 to 14 laps. But that said, that's only another 4 laps. It's only going to give him halfway to the race. He's going to have to make a tough call here. Does he go on to softs and he's going to have to go for, effectively another 2 pit stops? Or does he go on to the hard compound tyre, which will see him through to the end of the race? It's going to be a tough call, I think, for Hartman, and he's going to have to make that choice relatively soon.
Yeah, I don't know whether he'll actually have another set of soft tyres unless he's chosen soft.
No, he'd have to go mediums. That's what I'm saying. He's got 2 softs. He'd have to go medium, and he'd have to do 2 medium runs.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, I mean he'd have to stop again anyway.
Yeah.
Regardless of the next tyre that he does go on to, unless it's the hard tyre.
And that's why I suspect he is more likely to go onto the hard tyre. I mean, it's always a tough choice. Obviously, hard tyre, it depends very, very much on the track. This isn't a track where you would say, oh yeah, definitely need to go for a hard tyre. But in this particular instance, I think it's probably the thing that's going to serve him best. I mean, he is in the points, obviously, 10 runners, so he will be in the points. He's got nothing to lose by it, and he could potentially gain, another 3-4 places maybe.
Yeah, he could well do. Yeah, could well have to sort of wait and see. Meanwhile, actually, Jamie Collane is fighting with Baz Den Brayen. I don't know how many times I'm going to say that this season.
Make the most of it. Make the most of it
in the nicest possible way.
He didn't, Jamie. Don't believe him. Don't believe him, mate. He's trolling you. Don't believe him.
But I think he will pass Baz down the start and finish. Got plenty of ERS. I don't think there'll be very much that Baz can do about it.
Well, he is on a much fresher set of those medium compound tyres. But yeah, it's tough because Den Brayen is chasing Van der Berg at this moment in time as well, isn't he? So these 3 guys really pushing at each other at this moment in time, I'd say.
Yeah, that's right. We can't quite close the gap, actually. The Brain's got a little bit too much ERS to defend with than Jamie would like. But I think next lap he'll be able to do it. Good management on the ERS, Cobain.
Yep, certainly good on there. Baz Den Brayen, as we can say there, he's coming in there and he can see Van der Berg and Visser ahead of him. And I know that's going to encourage him to push that bit harder. I've got to be honest, I don't think he's really thinking about Jamie behind him at this moment in time. But that said, Jamie is very close and personal at this moment, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. Yeah, and I think the longer that Baz is in front of Jamie, I think the harder it's going to be on Jamie's tyres. Baz defending into turn 7.
Yeah. Just going slightly offline to break the toe and defend, getting ready right over to the right-hand side there. Now, you see, I've got to say, that tends to be my angle of attack. As, I come into that turn 8, go right over to the right-hand side and just sort of quickly, kink it over and just try and go as straight as you possibly can. It's the straightest line, effectively, through that castle section.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, Mary me! Hans van der Berg has crashed out! No, it wasn't. Zander Hermans.
Zander Hermans, yeah. He was
Zander Hermans. Oh my goodness me! Zander Hermans went straight into the barrier there. How the hell he didn't lose that front wheel, I do not know. But he went into the barrier. I actually thought it was Van der Berg for a minute because he obviously that was the car that I was looking at.
Yeah. No, I mean, he hit that wall at about 80 miles an hour. I have no idea how that car is still in one piece.
I am amazed that he hasn't
Jamie's
lost.
going for it into one. Sorry, Jamie's going for it into one on Baz.
Yep. Oh, and they're side by side there. Little bit of contact, but I'm sure Jamie's going to go for it again. But 4/10. He will have the DRS, but it's just not enough to make that difference. In the meantime, then Brain is slowly but surely eating in to that gap to Van der Berg ahead of him. I say slowly and surely, but I think he's probably taken about 2 or 3 tenths out of him on the previous lap, actually.
6 tenths.
Wow, 6 tenths. Yeah, oh, yeah. So not so slowly and surely, more rapidly and convincingly. So Basden Bryan, who we are on board with at this moment in time in the McLaren, starting to bear down on Hans van der Berg. And this is interesting because he's on 16 lap old mediums. Van der Berg only on 5 lap old mediums. And so far we've seen the drivers on the mediums, most of them come in round about 17, 18. Marco Pullen still out on those mediums on 21 laps, but he hasn't really been fighting a great deal, hasn't he? He's been pretty much clean air, so those tyres, I suppose, would go that far.
Yeah, he's having a bit of an uneventful race, which is a bit unusual at Baku for any driver. But yeah, he's obviously able to sort of stretch him out much longer than other drivers. Jamie again having another go into one, possibly both defending. He's back on the racing line though. Is he going to go up the inside? Not quite.
No, not closed down enough, but I think
Hans is right in front of them.
He is right in front of them now.
That's going to make it even more difficult for Jamie to pass because Baz will now have
DRS on Hans van der Berg, yeah. And he's looking to have a little peek, I think, down into turn 3 there. Well, I have seen an overtake on turn 3. I can't remember who it was that did it, and it was quite impressive. Coming round 5-6 now. Come on, Adrian, what have you got there tonight? What culinary delights are you tucking into there?
I'm trying to find any notes about overtakes in turn 3. I have got one somewhere.
And there's me thinking you're still having your dinner, mate. So we see now Jamie Collane is really getting up close and personal with that Basden Bryan. But Bryan a little bit further back from Hans van der Berg, and this is very interesting indeed. Jamie Collane, I think, has got the bit between his teeth here, and he's determined to get past this McLaren. I can see the determination on him. I really can. He wants to get past that McLaren, doesn't he?
Yeah, it's really good to see as well this battle for P2. You know, and I'm pleased that Jamie's found himself in a position where he's able to battle for that, because you know these are fast drivers.
Oh, and De Bruyne trying to go in there deep past, and he doesn't make it. I didn't think he'd be able to make it. Trying to do a late break corner cut into turn 1, doesn't quite make it. But this has given Jamie Collane a great opportunity. But De Bruyne, look at that! Look at the way he pulls away there. Well, yeah. I mean,
that was Jamie's error really out of turn 3, turn 2.
So yeah. Brain is definitely closing down here on Van der Berg. No two ways about it.
I think Jamie would be loving this actually. The fact that he's up there with his boys, that would give him a massive boost of confidence.
Got to say, if I was in his place though, I'd stay close, but watch the guys ahead of me. coming through that castle section here.
Always feel like it's a bit like playing Russian roulette coming through that.
Oh, it is. Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah, I'd definitely go with that one. It is very much a game of Russian roulette. Jamie Collane still only 5/10 off the back of Bas de Bruijn, and Bas de Bruijn only 6/10 off the back of Hans van der Berg. And in the meantime, Nicky Visser is just pulling away. He's 6.5 seconds ahead of Hans van der Berg.
Yeah, it's all pretty close at the moment. Bearing in mind we're 25 laps in.
Bruijn's looking to make that move into turn one. Can he make it stick? Jamie Collane in the background there. Doesn't quite. Jamie Collane though, look at this. Trying to get in there. He's got a good opportunity here out of two. He can still... Oh, makes contact with the barrier there. Don't want to be doing that. Makes contact with the barrier on the exit of turn two. Falls a little bit behind there. Don't know if he's lost anything off that front wing. No, he hasn't, because that looked like it was tyre contact. But then Bruijn, look at this. He's really pushing hard. Sander Hermans, in the meantime, sets the fastest time, 1:43.5. So he's clearly back in his car.
The right end plate is missing off the racing point. Sorry.
Yeah, I thought so. I thought I saw something flying off as they were coming down the straight between 2 and 3. So he has lost a little bit of his downforce there. It will affect him. And this has given De Bruijn an opportunity. But Jamie Collane isn't giving up. He's right there. Oh, look at that! Look at that! Bas de Bruijn goes into the wall there. Lucky there wasn't any further impact, but he's lost his front wing. And that game of Russian roulette for De Bruijn, well, he just lost that round.
Yeah, I'm not sure what to say about that one.
Well, what can you say? It's Baku.
Yeah.
So Bas de Bruijn in the McLaren makes an error coming through the castle section, loses his front wing, and he's going to have to be coming into the pits now. But that has released Jamie Collane up into that P3 position. And he's now closing down on Hans van der Berg. He's got a lot of speed in there. He's got a lot of speed on that racing point. And van der Berg's into the pits. Van der Berg into the pits as well. So Jamie Collane now moves up into P2.
That's an early stop for Hans. I wonder if this is to repair the wing.
Don't know. That's a bit of a strange one, I've got to say. I'm a bit surprised by that. Let's have a quick look, see if we can see. And he's going onto the he's going onto the softs. I thought he was going onto the hards.
Oh no, he is on hards.
He is on hards. Yeah, he is. Yeah, he is on hards. So he's gone on hard compound tyres. That's going to take him through to the end of the race. He come in on lap 9 there. Is this a scheduled stop? It's got to be.
I don't think it was.
Why did he come in?
Hans van der Berg. Yeah,
yeah.
He replaced his front wing. They
Oh,
had the new
right.
wing ready.
Oh, okay. So Hans van der
now
Berg.
running P2.
Yeah. Hans van der Berg has come in. He's gone onto the hard compound tyres. First man to go onto those hard compound tyres. They will see him through to the end of this race. There are 24 laps remaining. This is going to be interesting, especially bearing in mind where he is. Okay, he's 24 seconds behind Jamie Collane, but that's a pit stop. And Jamie Collane is currently in that P2 position. And I'm sure he's going to be very, very happy with that. But let's not discount Hans van der Berg.
No, I mean he is a full pit stop behind, obviously, 23.5 seconds. But Jamie will surely have to stop again. He's done 9 laps and still 24 laps to go. Yeah, you're not going to make those mediums last 34. He'll probably pit within the last 10 for soft tyres, Jamie, and then it'll be a battle for P2, I would hope.
Yeah, we did miss.
Jamie's in now.
Jamie's in now. We did miss that. I think he's going to go onto those hard compound tyres as well, actually. Let's have a quick look as he comes into the pits. Yeah, it is. So he's got onto the hards as well. So Jamie Collane goes on to those hard compound tyres. In the meantime, which we did miss, Marco Pullen in the Mercedes went out.
Yeah, I noticed earlier on. I think he was running P8, I think, at the time.
Yeah. So Marco Pullen in the Mercedes is DNF'd here at this Baku track. Okay, let's run through our runners and riders as they stand at this moment in time. Nicky Visser in that Red Bull is leading the race here at Baku, and I've got to say, quite convincing. He's got 30 seconds on second place Hans van der Berg. Hans van der Berg there coming round now. First man to go onto those, well, actually first man, to go onto those hard compound tyres. So van der Berg is in 2. Jamie Collane, in the meantime, is in P3, and he's on those hard compound tyres. And he's got, I think it's Zander Hermans actually behind him, looking to unlap himself at this moment in time.
Yeah,
so
that's right. Herman's 23 seconds behind Damie. He needs to unlap himself pretty quickly, bearing in mind that Collane's on those hard tyres. Oh, nearly loses it.
Deary me, Zander Hermans power sliding round 13 there. And I've got to say, if I was Jamie, I'd just move to one side, I think, on that straight and just let him through, because there's no point in fighting him and possibly prejudicing your own race, really.
Yep.
Oh, and again, Hermans hits the barrier. Got to say, I've got to go on board actually with Zander Hermans. And he has got past Jamie. Oh, sorry, let's do that there. So Zander Hermans has actually got past Jamie, which is what Jamie needed to do. But Jamie Collane is in that P3 position, looking good at this moment in time. And P4 is Marcel Dronig. Now, let's not discount Dronig, because Dronig's only on 4 lap old mediums. He was closing down on Collane. He did obviously have his teammate sort of ahead of him, unlapping himself, but I think Dronig's got a good opportunity here to actually catch up to Collane, hasn't he?
Yep. He's only a couple of seconds behind him on the softer medium tyres. I don't know if he's going to have to stop again. I think he probably will.
I think he will.
A stint on the softs if he's got some left.
Yeah, I mean, he's got 22 laps remaining. That would be 26. He could go to the end on those mediums. There is other potential. Oh, dearie me. There is the potential there, certainly, but I think it's going to be one to keep an eye on with regards to Marcel Dronig. But Basden Bryan, well, it just it didn't work out for him. But I mean, let's face it, he's still in a good position. He's in P5. He's on a fresh set of medium tyres. I would expect Bryan, I think, to go to the end of the race on these mediums. Knowing him as I do, and the way he can actually handle the tyres, and the fact that the driver that he is. I don't know what your thoughts are on that, Adrian.
Yes, I think he can try and squeeze them out to the end, but it's just going to be difficult. Yeah,
that it is.
I don't particularly like the medium tyres when they come to the end of their life around here. They
drop off very quickly, don't they?
50%. Anything beyond that, they sort of fall away from me. Yeah,
they do drop off very, very quickly here. Peter Phillips, in the meantime, in the Haas. He's in a good points position. He's in P6. So looking good for Peter Phillips. And Peter, we don't see a lot of altercation. We don't see him involved a great deal in a lot of moves. Oh, look at this. And that's Boy Williamson is actually closing down on him. Oh, and he goes wide out of one. And Boy Williamson is definitely laying down the pressure, isn't he?
Yeah, that's something I've noticed from racing Peter Phillips, actually. And
he did get ahead of him.
Driver testing and things. He does succumb to pressure quite a bit more easily than perhaps some other drivers.
Yeah, and Boy Williamson indeed did actually get ahead of him. I was just making the move to watch him do the overtaking. He actually did the move, but there you go. So Boy Williamson moves up into P6. Peter Phillips drops down to P7. Damie Hartman, in the meantime, in the Toro Rosso, is in P8. And actually, correct me if I'm wrong, did Damie not actually... Damie was the first man to go on to those hard compound tyres, I think, wasn't he? But he's decided to come off them. Or did he go onto them? I thought he did, actually.
No, I thought he went on to a set of mediums.
Yeah, he has gone on to a set of mediums. He's got mediums on here. So, but he is going to have to pit, I'm sure. 6-lap-old mediums, 20 laps remaining. He could possibly stretch, and this is going to be interesting. This is going to be the call now to see what happens with regards to these guys and whether they can make these mediums stretch out. In particular, well, Damie Hartman, Azejbaijan and Marcel Dronig. We'll have to keep an eye on that. Certainly Nicky Visser won't, but then again, he's got pretty much a pit stop in hand, so to speak. Zander Hermans had some issues, unfortunately, some technical issues, connectivity issues. Was out for a number of laps at the start, so he's really having to come back and fight. He is on those soft compound tyres. He's done 8 laps on those. I suspect he's probably got about another 4, maybe 5 laps left in them. But he's 21 seconds off the back of Damie Hartman. That's not the man he wants to be behind, really, to try and catch up, is it?
Not really, no. It's the reigning Season 5 champion. No, he'd rather be chasing down someone else, but he's not, unfortunately. And that's the situation he's got to deal with. He'll probably take the 2 points, to be fair, from this race.
Yeah.
You know, it's a difficult one. It's just because it's a bit of a lottery. You know, you never really quite know how the race is going to go because of the nature of the track. Yeah,
that is very true. And this track takes no prisoners, that is for sure. So Zander Hermans is down in P9. We are on lap 32 of 51. This is F1 Tonight Netherlands. We are here, Season 6, Race 4 at the Baku City Circuit in Azerbaijan. Leading the way at this moment in time is Nicky Visser in the Red Bull. And I've got to say, Adrian, it's looking very much like it's going to be another convincing win for Nicky Visser.
Well, that'd be his hat-trick, wouldn't it? 3 in a row. For Nicky. I don't record time in the time I've been commentating since halfway through Season 4 that where a driver has actually done that. I have to look back at the archives, but yeah, really good performance. Bearing in mind he started P5, wasn't the most impressive qualifying session. No, it didn't work out in the qualifying, and you know he was on those medium tyres to start the race, the same as his teammate Boy Williamson. He's gone on to a second stint on those mediums, but I guess, you know, not detracting at all from Nicky's driving capability, but the racing gods have shone on him this evening with the incidents that we've had on the track, haven't they? Yeah, that's right. I mean, I said this track's a bit of a lottery, and I think he's won that lottery. Nicky, go and buy a Euro Millions ticket, for God's sake. Make sure you do. It's 166 million. Just remember who told you and give me 20%. I'll be happy with that. Meanwhile, another driver who probably feels like he's won the lottery is Jamie Calane. Really applying pressure to Vandenberg on the same tyres, no less. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Marcel Dronig has closed down to Jamie, and he's only 5/10 off the back of him, as I expected. But Jamie Calane on the hard compound tyres, as is Hans van der Berg, and he's looking to try and make the move on him down this start-finish straight. Looks like he will. I'm pretty sure that he will get him into turn 1. But look at Marcel Dronig. He's in close behind both of these guys. Oh, 3 abreast. 3 abreast, and Marcel Dronig. Oh, Marcel Dronig goes wide there into turn 1. Loses that time, but side by side here. Jamie Calane, Hans van der Berg. Oh, dearie me! Jamie Calane goes into the corner there of turn 2. Takes out his front right wing. He did not want to do that. Hans van der Berg was very, very close to making contact himself. But, that was just a loss of downforce in that braking point, wasn't it? Because he's so close. Oh, look at this! I think it's Hans who lost his wing. I didn't see Jamie actually hit the wall. Yeah, I did see contact from Jamie. I thought it was. It was no, Jamie has lost wing as well. If we look on here, Jamie has lost wing as well. He's lost the end plate. Jamie Calane has lost the end plate on his car. Just trying to see if I can get a little view into hand. And in the meantime, look at this. Azejbaijan gets past. So both the Toro Rosso and the Racing Point have got damaged. They both lost their right end plates. Yeah, I think Hans probably took a bigger hit. Yeah, half of Hans' wing is actually missing. Oh, and now his wheel's gone because he just put it in the wall. Oh no, dearie me. Boy Williamson coming around. Let's have a look, see if we can see
and he's coming round to him now. Yellow flag in sector 2, and where was that? It must have been on the
Turn
exit.
14.
Turn 14.
I think it was. 13.
Yellow flag still up. It's coming round 12. Yeah, it must have been turn 14. Let's see, we should see him on track.
Just be careful, you might. I think he's on.
Yeah, he's on the right-hand side there. That's a dangerous position. So Hans van der Berg, what a great shame, because there was a great race going on there. But that's what happens. You lose some of those plates off that front wing and that end plate as well. And on this track, it's just way too dangerous, isn't it?
Yeah. That's it. As soon as your wing's gone, yeah, you're not really making it around that turn 13 or turn 14 without without really sort of slowing down. And then of course you've got to make it through the last sort of 4 turns as you come onto the back straight, which is absolutely
well,
nightmare.
especially 13 and 14, because those are high speed turns, and you need to be assured of that downforce as you're building up speed coming round both those corners.
Yep, absolutely right.
And we are on board now with Baz den Bruijn, and he is closing down on Marcel Dronig. But equally, I've got to say, Marcel Dronig is very much closing down on Jamie Culhane, isn't he?
He is, yeah. I mean, we've seen Culhane apply pressure. We're now going to see Culhane under pressure. Yeah.
And remember that the guys behind him are on the medium compound tyre, which is a softer compound than that hard compound. Now, Jamie should be able to keep his place on those long straights. Where he's got to watch it is very much in that middle sector, that sector 2. That is where his tyre is going to give him sort of a bit of a down, really, isn't it? It's not going to be able to handle as well as those mediums through that sector.
No, that's right. That's where his time will be lost. But I think as long as he can keep his cool, he should be okay. It's just a matter of managing the ERS, and so that you can defend down the start finish, because that's the only way you can defend down that straight is with ERS.
Yeah. Well, we are on lap 35 of 51. Marcel Dronig, who we are on board with now, is closing down on Jamie Culhane in that racing point. Williams on the racing point. In the background, though, we've still got Baz den Bruijn, and he is staying in there. He's got the guys in view, but Marcel Dronig is definitely the man here that he's going to look to see what he can do, and he does. Just trying to have a look at this, actually. Yeah, I mean, he does need to get ahead of Jamie Culhane if he's going to make it work, because he's going to have to pit. I would suspect, especially the way that he's pushing these tyres, he's likely to pit before the end of this race. I mean, he could stretch it, but this isn't the sort of track that you really want to stretch your tyres too much.
No, that's right. I mean, just a tiny little too much wear, and you won't have the turning force in the front tyres to be able to make it into the castle at the speed that you'd normally approach it.
So these guys really flying down here. And is it me, or was den Bruijn sort of backed off there? He doesn't seem to be sort of in the mix at this moment in time.
No. You're right, he doesn't. I can't really tell whether that is intentional. I don't think it is.
Is he replenishing?
Not really. He's not replenishing, he's just not attacking as hard as he normally does. And that's big mistake at turn 2 there from Brian.
And Dronig now closing down into 3. He's not going to be able to make the move, but he's making his presence very much known to Jamie Culhane ahead of him.
Marcel's tyres they're only 11 laps old, but he does keep on sliding around. The rear tyres just keep losing grip out of the corners.
And those front tyres are not looking healthy either. Well, we can't see the back tyres, unfortunately, but those front tyres are definitely looking worse for wear.
They're not even that old.
No, and that's surprising. It's 11 laps. But we have seen this from Drake. We saw it in season 5. He's been somewhat better in season 6, but he did seem to eat into his tyres quite a lot in season 5, and I'm wondering if he's sort of taken a little bit of a back step here at Baku with regards to that.
Yeah, possibly.
So we are watching at this moment in time Marcel Dronig trying to get past. He's only 3/10 now, 4/10, just under 4/10 off the back. 3/10 off the back now of Jamie Culhane. I don't think Jamie's going to be able to do an awful lot on this. He's got him before he's even got down to the DRS.
What more can he do? not much.
Yeah. Dronig will get ahead of him convincingly. Jamie trying to see if he can get a little bit of an inside edge into that. Now he's going to try and see if he can make the move out of 2.
This is going to be another test of Jamie's character here, and about how he copes with the with being overtaken.
And the damage. Remember, he has a damaged front wing.
He does. Yeah, missing end plate.
Yeah. So let's not forget that, because that will affect his downforce into those higher speed corners. Not so much on the low speed ones. So sector 2 is not great, but he's got a disadvantage of being on those hard compound tyres through this second sector. So he's going to be keen to try and stay on the back of Marcel Dronig as much as he can during this.
Sorry, Eddie, I was just going to say the one sort of saving grace, perhaps, that Jamie can hope for is that Dronig's tyres are just going to fall away in the sort of very final stages of the race, perhaps the last 5 or 6 laps, and that will be his opportunity to sort of gain retribution.
I've got to say, I don't see Dronig actually going too much further on those tyres, to be brutally honest with you, Adrian. I mean, the wear that he's got on those, I mean, I'd say he'd be pushing it if he does another 3 laps on those, he's going to be pushing it. So I'm not too sure. I think Dronig is maybe just trying to sort of do a bit of damage control and just try and get as much clean air between himself and Jamie as he possibly can, but I really don't see him staying out there on those tyres till the close of this race. I'd be very, very surprised if he does. Let's put it like that.
Yeah, I'd have to agree. They really don't look great at all.
No, not at all. In the meantime, Bas den Bruijn is in 4th place, and I think he's got Zander Hermans ahead of him. So Zander Hermans has effectively unlapped himself from den Bruijn. So den Bruijn currently in P4. P5 is Boy Williamson. So more points there for Red Bull, and Boy has got himself up. Obviously, we've had a number of DNFs, but even saying that, he's fought hard to come through, and he's done well. So he's up to P5. Damie Hartman in the Toro Rosso is in P6. Peter Phillips in that is in P7, and Zander Hermans in that Rocket Williams is in P8. He's approaching Peter Phillips, but is that no, he's not. Where is he? He's behind Jamie. Yeah, he's behind Jamie actually. So, yeah, sorry, yeah, because he's between Jamie and Bas den Bruijn at the moment. So he wants to try and unlap himself from Jamie Culhane, and should be able to achieve that. I mean, he's certainly moving. He's on 2 lap-old mediums. He's managed to unlap himself from all the others so far. So he's here to prove a point. I wonder if Zander is actually going to look at the possibilities of the fastest lap here.
Yeah, I'd imagine so. Obviously, yeah, I expect him to probably.
And he just has, as we said that.
I think, I was thinking maybe he was going to put in for the soft tyres, maybe perhaps the last 5 or 6 laps, but he may not even need to.
I don't know. We've still got 12 laps remaining, so he's set at 1:42. I would expect. Yeah, actually saying that, no, I think you could be right there, because Boy Williamson's on 11 lap old soft, so yeah, he could do it, but think the window is pretty much done on those, so it could well be that Zander Hermans might well set the fastest lap with that 1:42. We will see. Time undoubtedly will tell. So Nicky Visser leads the way. I've said it earlier on, but I'll say it again. This is looking definitely another convincing win. 28 seconds now ahead of second place Marcel Dronig.
Yep, that's phenomenal. I mean, it didn't look like it was going to be anything like that at the start of this race, or indeed in qualifying. But yeah, whatever Nicky's done, yeah, can you just text it to me, please? And,
well, to be honest, I think he's just pretty much stayed out of trouble and, you know, attacked and defended well during the course of this race when he's been, you know, in close competition with other drivers. He's been cautious. He hasn't overstepped the mark. We saw him backing off earlier on when he was close in behind, oh God, who was that? Hans van der Berg, wasn't it?
Yes.
So, you know, he's discretion being the part of valour. He's just, you know, as I said, Nicky in season 5, it just didn't go for him, but it all seems to be coming together in this season 6 so far. Yeah,
really great stuff. As I said, yeah, didn't really have very much luck last season, but yeah, it's all falling into place at the moment.
Yeah, definitely is. He's looking good. Attacks that castle section very convincing. It just seems to be a lot more confidence from Nicky this season, really.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was about to say. Oh, and Jamie is now just half a second behind Marcel. So I wonder if Dronig's tyres have actually, yeah, have they fallen away? This is 3 laps after you said in 3 laps they probably will drop.
Yeah, I think it has. He has really closed him down 7 tenths and closing.
Although having said that, Dronig's got 100% ERS, so it may have been a combination of saving up as well as the tyres.
I don't know, Adrian. I mean, I'm just looking at these tyres now, and the wear on the outside of those fronts is... Yeah, he has. He's made contact with the wall, and Jamie, I'm sure... Yeah, Jamie's now just under 6 tenths off the back of him.
He'll pass him here easy.
Yeah, I'm sure we're going to see Jamie make the move in this third sector once if he doesn't make the move before they get to DRS line, and he's likely to, because look at this. Yeah, look at this. He's there already as they come over, hit the DRS, and that's going to be an easy move. Yeah, and Dronig is in. Yeah, Dronig is in. God, I'm good at this. Dronig does indeed come in, and I just couldn't see the life in those tyres, and that clearly was the case. So Jamie Collane, he's a happy little bunny, moves up into that P2 position.
It's not over yet. He's still got Den Breen behind him, 2 seconds. Again on the medium tyres, but in theory they would also be coming close to the end of their life. They don't look anywhere near as bad as Marcel's did, though.
Yeah, let's have a quick look at those. I don't know though. I will actually
just. The left is.
Yeah, the front left is. Yeah, I mean, I would say again, we've got 10 laps remaining. I can't see Den Breen. I mean, Den Breen is a master of tyre wear, but that said, I cannot see these medium tyres taking him to the end of the race. I've got to be honest.
Yeah, well, if anyone could do it, it probably would be him.
Well, yeah, I was just about to say there, you know, I don't see it happening, but if anyone can, he's definitely Den Breen. You're absolutely right there, Adrian. He is the man that somehow manages to get it through, although he hasn't quite yet, I think, reached the dizzy heights of Mark Stapper's at Sochi in season 4.
Yeah, that was epic.
What was it? 51 laps,
51
I think.
Laps.
Yeah, 51 laps. that was just amazing.
I don't think I've ever even done 51 straight laps in time trial.
So let's have a quick look now. We've got 9 laps remaining of this race. This is F1 Tonight Netherlands. Season 6, race 4 here at the Baku City Circuit for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. Leading the way is Nicky Visser in the Red Bull, and I've got to say this is looking, as every lap passes by, more and more a convincing and, well, not just convincing, this is, you know, a fantastic race. I mean, 29 seconds as it stands at this moment in time. This is an epic one here from Nicky Visser. Another epic, I've got to say. Second place, Jamie Collane, though. Wow, what a fantastic result for this Racing Point driver. We were discussing earlier on how, you know, Jamie had sort of come in and wasn't quite getting the feel for it, and, you know, now is the time, and it's almost as if he sort of, well, I wouldn't say he heard us, because obviously I'm sure his plan was to, you know, be as close to the front as he possibly could anyway. But it's really come together for him so far in this race, hasn't it?
Yeah, that's right. I mean, I said earlier on, you know, he qualified P7. I thought, you know, I'm sure that was his highest ever qualifying position in F1 tonight, and I think that just gave him a massive boost. All of the things going on around him in the first lap that he managed to avoid, that probably gave him a huge boost. And then as the drivers that he's finding himself battling with, such as Vandenberg and Debrian.
And Debrian has come into the pits. Debrian has come into the pits.
Good call again. Yeah, good call again. But yeah, the fact that he was battling with them as each lap passes, and he's still there, that's just going to increase his confidence even more. And here he is in P2.
Yeah.
Visser's come in as well, by the way. He's onto the softs, obviously going for the fastest lap. Yeah,
Visser will be going fastest lap, but he could afford to do it. Let's be honest. You know, he's got 8 laps remaining. He had a pit in hand. This is a great opportunity for him to get that extra point and rake up 26 points.
Yep. Yeah, what he's got to try not to do, though, is push too hard and end up putting it in the wall or something.
That's it, Adrian. You've done it now. You realise that. Commentators' voodoo has now been applied.
I just like having these godly powers, you know. Just
it's amazing the power we have, isn't it, Adrian?
Unbelievable. Wish it worked in real F1 sometimes.
Oh, I wish it worked in real life, to be brutally honest with you, but there you go. Right, so we are on board at this moment with Marcel Dronig, who is now in a P3 podium finish place, no less. This is going to be interesting because he's going to have Bazden Brain closing down on him, I suspect, round about lap 50. If not sooner, maybe lap 49. This is going to be a very interesting finish as it stands at this moment in time for that third place on that podium, I think, Adrian.
Yeah, I imagine there will be a bit of a fight. It won't be easy for Baz to catch him, but on the same tyre. He's got 7 seconds, the deficit, and about 7 laps to go. I mean, that's not easily done. But yeah, there may be a battle unfolding in the
I have a sneaking suspicion that there will be a battle on the closing, if not the final lap, the preceding one, the penultimate lap, between Dembrain and Marcel Dronig. Time will tell, we will see. As we're discussing, obviously, Baz Dembrain in the McLaren there is in P4, and look at that, 6.5 seconds already. He's starting to eat into him. And yeah, this is Dembrain really going for it now. This is do or die for him. He needs to get on that podium. He needs the points. His teammate is out, and he needs to try and maintain that position that he has in the standings at the moment. He is P4 at this present moment in time, but also from a point of view of team points as well, isn't it? He needs to make up that deficit.
Yeah, that's right. And I think, but at this pace, it looks like he may do it. Although he's in mode 5 through this slower corner, so I think this might be a one-off lap for the fastest lap, and then we'll see what he can do in the cool down.
Well, we'll keep an eye on that one. In the meantime, Boy Williamson in the second Red Bull. He's in P5. And I think that's a pretty safe bet that he's going to be finishing in that P5 position, obviously bar any incident ahead. And yeah, again, good points for Red Bull. I mean, they're going to pick up potentially 25, 26 points from Nicky. Then we've got Boy, who's going to be bringing home another 10 points. That's 36 points. That's going to put them over the 100.
Yep, yeah, on 80 points at the moment. So yeah, we are 116. Notably, Vista and Boy, the two Red Bulls, they've actually switched places from where they started in quali. Boy took pole and Nicky was 5th. They're now the other way around. Baz and Brain setting the fastest lap so far, 141. And look at that gap. Look at that gap though to Dronig. 4 seconds. Yep.
4 seconds he's got to Dronig. Damie Hartman, Season 5 champion in the Toro Rosso. He's in P6, and again, I think that's a pretty safe P6 for Damie. Then in P7, Peter Phillips raking the points, slowly but surely, quietly, stealthily. The Haas driver picks up some points for his team and for himself again. And I've got to say, this man is consistent. And we've discussed it before, but he definitely is. He stays in it, doesn't give up, stays in there. And yeah, that always helps to start getting the points together. Zander Hermans, well, it hasn't been the race for Hermans that he was expecting. Wasn't the best of starts, had incidents early on, disconnection issues, so technical issues as well, which really hurt him. I think that was for a good 7 or 8 laps he had that.
Yeah.
So, but he's in the points. That's the important thing. He will be picking up 3 championship points at least.
Yeah, that's right. Despite having the bad race, yeah, he will be adding to his championship total. And just going back as well to what you're saying about Peter Phillips, yeah, he's a driver that's frequently in the points. Normally picks up 4 points, 6 points, sort of here and there, but he always goes the distance.
Yeah, and that's what can make a difference, because a driver like Peter Phillips that is consistent, if he does 2, 3 podium finishes, that potentially puts him in that top 5.
Yeah, which he could quite easily find himself in sooner or later. Definitely
a man to watch without any shadow of a doubt. Okay, so we are starting to get towards the closing stages of this race for F1 Tonight Netherlands here at Baku in Azerbaijan, the Baku City Circuit. Great introduction, I've got to say, to the F1 racing calendar. They were the skeptics before it came, but I've got to say it's really come to be one of my favourites. I don't know about you, Adrian.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, when did it come in? 2014? That'd be this is the 6th Grand Prix, isn't it? F1 19.
Yeah.
And they really put on such a great show, and it's such a great track as well. I really enjoyed driving it and watching it.
Yeah, I've got to say, I will definitely go with that one, 100%. And just trying to see here who. That's the Toro Rosso. Oh, right, I was just trying to see who that was. It's Damie Hartman behind Nicky Visser at this moment in time. So, Damie Hartman trying to unlap himself from Nicky. What do you do in this situation? It's a tough one. Nicky's going to be sitting there thinking, look, don't get too close. Don't push me. Don't push me. Don't get close. Don't push me. Take it easy. I don't want to end up in the barrier. I've nearly got this in the bag. I don't know about you, but that's what would be going through my mind.
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna. It's not going to benefit Nicky to try and defend or really get involved in this at all, to be honest.
No,
I think you just let him pass down the start and finish.
I've got to be honest with you. I would concur with that. I think he is just going to say, look, just there you go. Doors open. Go for it, leave me alone and let me finish my race. So Damie Hartman is looking to unlap himself from the race leader Nicky Visser. Indeed, Nicky moving across. There you go. Come on, Damie. Doors open. Go for it.
And Nicky's in mode 0, so, you know, he's
Yeah.
not defending.
He is definitely not defending. So Damie Hartman gets ahead of Nicky Visser, our race leader. Nicky Visser breathes a big sigh of relief and says thank you. Now get a move on.
It's not often you see a reigning champion being lapped, or, you know, in a position where he's a lap down.
Yeah.
Particularly when he won this very race last season.
Yes.
Well, no, he didn't. Sorry, he didn't win. He
No,
lost,
he didn't.
By,
not this one.
0.036.
0.036. That's right.
He almost won.
You almost won. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, not a great race from Damie.
It's not been one that I think he wants to remember, but at least he's gone, you know, with a little bit of respect. He has unlapped himself, so, you know, a little bit of respect has been regained on that. Nicky Visser coming through the castle section now. He's only got 5 flaps, remaining. Jamie Collane still in that second place. Oops, let's do that.
4 laps left, including the end of this one.
Yeah. So Jamie Collane is in that second place, and I've got to say he's looking pretty comfortable on that at this moment in time. Dronig is actually 9.8 seconds behind him, so Dronig isn't quite there yet, and I don't think he's going to be before the close of this race, is he?
Dronig gained 3 seconds on him that last lap, but I think that was a one-off. I think that was a sort of full ERS to the max. As
Damie Hartman
gets
141, yeah, 141.3 for Damie Hartman. So he's challenging Nicky Visser for that point at this moment in time. Marcel Dronig, 9.5 seconds off the back of Jamie Collane. I've got to say, unlikely, I think, to catch him. We might catch him at the closing stages. But the one that I am more interested in, which obviously I touched on a little bit earlier, is Bas den Breyen, because he's now 3.2 seconds off the back of Marcel Dronig. Dronig is putting down some faster laps, but de Breyen is still reeling him in.
Yeah, gained 8 tenths on the previous lap and 4 tenths on that lap they've just completed. I don't know. I don't know if there's enough laps left to get him into sort of, you know, striking distance.
Well,
he'll give it a go, I'm sure.
Oh, he will definitely give it a go. But what a fantastic opportunity here for Dronig to pick up some great points again, because again he's been doing well. He's hitting P9 at this moment in time. I don't think he's had a podium finish so far this season. No, he hasn't, has he? No, he hasn't.
Dronig, no, he was on for a podium.
He was on for a podium,
at China, and then so it's overtaken him twice in the last sort of few laps, dropped from 5th to 3rd to 5th.
5th, yeah. So Den Breyen is eating in. It's 2.5 seconds now, that gap. So he is taking out of him. But as you rightly say, Adrian, is it enough? There's 3 laps remaining. Well, 2.5 laps remaining. So Den Breyen has got his work cut out for him. This is where Den Breyen needs to really concentrate and focus to try and catch up to, not only just catch up, but overtake Dronig. And it's going to be a big ask. I think it's going to make it interesting though for the closing stages of this race, I feel.
Yeah, from what I'm seeing, it doesn't look like he's trying to catch him. He's in mode 0 coming down the back straight. I think he's going to try and go for the fastest lap on the last lap.
Okay.
That's his plan here.
Okay, so Den Breyen may well not, by the sounds of it, or is not challenging Marcel Dronig ahead of him.
Yeah, because Damie stole the fastest lap, but Baz actually had it. He had a 41.7. I think Damie come in with 41.6, if I remember correctly.
So this is going to be interesting. Let's see what happens. We are on the penultimate lap. And let's run through our runners and riders in reverse order. So in P8 we have Peter Phillips. P7 is Zander Herman, so Zander getting past Peter Phillips, getting up to that P7 place, and he's going to be happy with that as he's unlapped himself as well. Then we have Damie Hartman, season 5 winner, is in P6. Boy Williamson in the Red Bull is in P5. P4 Baz Denbrian in that McLaren, and yeah, he's not going to make it. We're on lap 51. He's 2.3 seconds off the back of Dronig, so that's not going to happen. Marcel Dronig in that Rocket Williams is in P3. P2 is Jamie Collane. And P1 is Nicky Visser. And we'll stay with Nicky Visser now for the remain of this final lap. And yeah, he pitted, went on to a set of softs, and he's still got that gap up to 23 seconds, Adrian. This man is just showing some amazing form so far this season, isn't he? Are you there, sir?
No, my batteries are dying. I haven't got any spares.
Oh, well, you've got a few seconds left. Let's see if they can last out at least till the end of this race. Nicky Visser now coming down to turn 15. He's in the final sector of the final lap of this season 6 race 4 here at Azerbaijan, the Baku City Circuit. We've got a yellow flag in sector 2.
It's Debreen.
And Debreen.
It's at the castle again.
Oh my goodness me. But in the meantime, Nicky Visser comes down, crosses the line, and takes the win here at Baku. Fantastic result there for Nicky Visser. But second place, well, I don't even have to look at my WhatsApp, Adrian, because I know who you're going to vote for driver of the day, and I've got to say, I totally agree. Jamie Collane takes second place, and I'm fairly confident in saying driver of the day, Adrian.
Yeah, 100% deserves that. I appreciate what Nicky did from P5 to P1. And it's a hat trick of wins, but I think that has to go to Jamie. You know what performance it's been, the amount of pressure he's been put under and been given out to these pro drivers. It's yeah, really impressive stuff. Yeah, definitely. So Jamie Collane comes in second, Marcel Dronig comes third, fourth is Baz Denbrian, 5 will be Boy Williamson, 6 Damie Hartman for Toro Rosso, 7 Peter Phillips for Haas, and 8 Zander Hermans for Rocket Williams. But Jamie Collane takes second place on the podium, first podium finish, driver of the day as well. And I've got to agree with you. I mean, Nicky, sublime race, but Jamie really put it together, really delivered, and we can see the result here, putting him second place on that podium. This is going to give him a big boost, isn't it, Adrian? Yeah, absolutely big time. There's been a few times sort of since his first race where he'd had the opportunity for a good finish, and something would have happened to him during the race, and it would just all go sort of down the pan. But yeah, he stayed out of trouble. There was so much going on around him, and yeah, it was a really hard fought fight for that second place position. Well done. Absolutely fantastic result there. Nicky Visser takes the win again for Red Bull. Second place goes to Jamie Collane for the Racing Point. Third place goes to Marcel Dronig in the Rocket Williams, and what a fantastic race it has been. And yeah, definitely an exciting one, wasn't it? Oh yeah. I think it was always going to be honest. It's yeah, when you said it before the race even begun, that you felt something in your waters, and that was it. Indeed. No penalties for anyone. No penalties for any drivers, and that is absolutely fantastic. Nicky Visser takes the win, Jamie Collane second, Baz Debreen fourth,
Boy Williamson 5, Damie Hartman 6, Peter Phillips 7, Zander Hermans 8, DNF for Hans van der Berg, tragic there, Marco Pullen, Martin Parder Cooper, Guido Urshan, Miguel Tawney, John Donkel. That is the conclusion of our Season 6 Race 4 for F1 Tonight Netherlands. Next week, where are we next week with the boys? We're in España, Catalunya. So we're at the Circuit de Catalunya in Spain, and that's next Thursday, 7:30 p.m. UK time, 8:30 p.m. Central European time. And from our side, obviously, the UK, we will be back here in Azerbaijan. I will not, unfortunately, be joined by my dear co-commentator Adrian, as he will actually be taking part in the race. So good luck to you on Tuesday. You looking forward to it, Adrian? He's gone. His mic has died, so I'm sure he is. I'll answer for him. Yes, I am. There you go. He said he was. So I will bid you all a fond good night. Don't forget, tune in Tuesday night, 7:30 UK time, 8:30 Central European time for the F1 Tonight Season 1 Race 4 of UK Division. We look forward to seeing you then. Thanks a lot. Good night. See you soon.